Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. From the Tri-Cities Coliseum, I'm Kirk Williamson. Tonight, the Tri-City Americans will try to break a string, an overtime string. They played 4 overtime games in a row, losing twice to Portland in overtime, once here and once there, and defeating the Kamloops Blazers in overtime Tuesday night, and losing to the Victoria Cougars. All of that since Christmas. The Americans playing 4 overtime games in a row. The Western Hockey League doesn't keep those statistics, but they might, and if they did, the Americans would probably be right at the top. Right now, the Americans are 1 win and 3 losses in the last 4 games, 4 overtime games. Tonight, the Kamloops Blazers come back to town. Last time they were here, the Americans winning it easily 7-1, then winning in overtime 8-7 in Kamloops last Tuesday night. So tonight, it'll be a chance for the Blazers to try to get even, the Tri-City Americans to try to establish some real dominance over the Blazers, who are now in 3rd place in the Western Hockey League Western Division. We'll be back with the face-off and the beginning of the game in 1 minute.
Okay, it's going into overtime.
I knew Vancouver was ahead of somebody.
It's 3-3, you said, or 2-2?
The Vancouver Choconuts.
Starting on defense is number 6, David Linford.
The Tri-City Americans and the Kamloops Blazers. The starting lineups look like this for the 2 teams. First, starting for the Kamloops Blazers at defense, number 6, David Linford, and number 28, Captain Don Schmidt. The centerman, number 7, Phil Huber. Right wing, Pat Bingham. Left wing, David Shazowski. The Blazers are without the services of Mike Needham and Brad Heschuk, along with Pat McLeod and Len Jorgensen. Those 3 players are very key to their success, and they're without the services of those 3 players. They've been without McLeod, Heschuk, and Needham for several games. For the Tri-City Americans, their lineup looks like this. On defense, at the blue line, number 10, Kelly Kutowitz, and number 4, Steve Jaques. Center, Stu Barnes, number 14. Left wing, Murray Duval, number 11, and right wing, number 18, Sean LeBrun. You'll see both LeBrun and Duval back at the blue line on the Tri-City Americans power play at one time or another. And we'll be back in 1 minute on this Tri-City Americans hockey broadcast.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons come.
How's that sound, that PA feed? Is that okay?
Rise the true north strong and free, from far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God be arms early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
The playing and singing of our national anthem by Monty Ingersoll, and we are ready to get things underway tonight between the Tri-City Americans and the Kamloops Blazers. Jason Heineman, this should be a really good hockey game.
Yeah, it should.
Have you seen Kamloops play here before?
No, I haven't.
Which teams have you seen?
Portland and Medicine Hat.
Well, you saw a couple of the best, of course. The Tigers, the defending defending Memorial Cup champion, and the Winterhawks flying right along as the top team in the Western Hockey League West. And we're ready to get things underway. It'll be Huber against Barnes. Duval posted up with Bingham, and LeBrun across the way with looks like Trevor Buchanan. No, it isn't either. It's Shazowski. So it'll be Barnes against Hubert. On the face-off, we're ready for the puck to drop. 20 minutes of hockey, the first period coming up. Huber winning the draw, dumping it back into his own zone. In goal tonight for the Kamloops Blazers, Dean Cook, the Cookie Monster. And the Americans wrap it around the net, skilled away. Barnes takes a shot, and it's blocked by Dean Cook. Outlet pass for the Americans. Dump back into the Blazer zone. Now the Blazers get it back to the Tri-Cities blue line. The Americans trying to steal it. Duval, a big hit. Here comes LeBrun. LeBrun shoots just wide of the net to the right side. He made one of those go in Portland the other night. As LeBrun wheels around the net, centers for Duval. Duval, a shot! Blocked by Hirsch. They charge in after it. LeBrun gets his own rebound, goes to Barnes. Barnes feeding left to Murray Duval. Duval in the corner, wipes out low with Linford. Linford all over Murray Duval, and they'll stop play there.
And boy, they sure know Murray Duval's number. Murray Duval was the one that scored the winning goal in overtime Tuesday night up at Kamloops at 10 seconds into overtime. And they're going to try to keep Murray Duval in check tonight as well.
Very quick flurry there for the Tri-City Americans as they came down, stole the puck in the Blazers' own end, and went to work on Dean Cook. Corey Hirsch has had the start for Kamloops twice against the Americans, and twice the Americans have chased him out of the crease. Tonight he's sitting down on the bench next to Coach Ken Hitchcock.
Dean Cook has a 2-1 record in 5 appearances against the Tri-City Americans this year.
Well, the referee now over to have a word with the off-ice official. And the referee and the linesman, I'm not sure quite what the situation is, Tony.
No, I'm not really sure either, Kirk, but Ken Hitchcock over behind the Blazers bench over there is really getting a kick out of something. He is laughing like I've never seen him laugh before. And
well, the Americans making a shift change, and now Captain Greg Spenrath goes over to have a word with the coach. Oh, I think they're going to tell the public address, tell the PA system to stop the music, I think. But I'm just not sure. They're calling all kinds of Coliseum officials in. They're looking around, pointing at things. And
yeah, they're really got a lot of questions going on right now.
Now they're pointing off over into a corner somewhere.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And
Well, a few streaks to mention to you while we got a couple seconds here. Sean LeBrun is on a current 12-game point scoring streak, and he has got 5 goals and 6 assists against Kamloops this year for 11 points. In his last 8 games, he has scored 7 goals and 14 assists for 21 points. The Americans in the last 8 games, if you're ready for this, Kirk, have scored 50 goals. 50 goals in the last 8 games. They had a total of 81 the first 27 games. So the Americans have definitely found the way to hit and light up that red light at the end of the ice rinks, and hopefully they can carry some of that momentum into these games. They really are struggling a little bit of late. Heartbreaking losses, too.
They have been. Dennis LaRue, the referee, going over to talk with the coaches. Ken Hitchcock is enormously amused. John Olver does not appear to be equally amused down there on the Americans bench, you may have noticed. And I'm still not certain what they're waiting for. The linesman down there talking to the referee, and both teams skating around. Dean Cook pointing to somebody. Now Rob Krauss over talking with Frank Ferlin. And
they're looking to the north end.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And I wonder if they're... Well, I don't know, and I'm going to take a timeout while we wait to find out. Just underway, and we'll be back in 60 seconds on this Tri-Cities Radio American hockey broadcast. Shane wins the draw. Right side it goes to Cole. Shane dumps it into the Kamloops zone. The Americans will chase in after it. Rennie putting a big hit there on Shazowski. Puck comes along the boards. Krauss whips it around to the right side. Cole there to play it in behind the net. Goes into the left corner now. Delcourt in after it, along with Harrison, as they scramble for it along the boards. Now the puck's knocked loose. Back to neutral ice. Krauss dumped off of it. Here come the Blazers. Harrison a drive, and Ferlin kicks it away to the right side. Now it's chipped along the boards. Kamloops with it. Stephen Ewell. Ewell and a shot taken out front by Buchanan. Ferlin with the glove save. Plays it ahead for Rennie in neutral ice. Back for it is Kim Deck. Deck shooting it ahead now to Shantz. Brian Shantz cross ice to the right side. Into the corner, and Ferlin will leave it there for Krauss. Ahead now to Spenrath. Puck goes in left of the net. Bounces right in behind the Kamloops net. Anderson brings it out for the Blazers. Americans at a shift change. Puck goes back into the Tri-City zone. Krauss races after it. Krauss gets to it in the right corner. But the Blazers in quickly. Kwiatkowski trips from behind, trying to work it along the board. Puck goes into neutral ice. Now Kwiatkowski chasing after it as the puck is shot back into the Tri-City zone. Now back into the Kamloops end. Left it goes to Cruz. Cruz wheels around behind his own net, losing the puck almost to Kwiatkowski, and it's shot back into neutral ice. Big hit there by the Americans as they try to gain control of the puck, and now Dirksen just hammers Pat Bingham against the boards and turns around and say, hey, Pat, you want to... Got something to say about that?
Two number 9s hitting at each other into the sideboards. And look for a little frustration on both teams tonight. The Kamloops Blazers, they usually take a little bit to get going. They score 55 goals in their first period this year, and they have let the opponents give up 55 goals. But as far as what they've done of late, they're really struggling.
It'll be Barnes and Huber on the faceoff just inside the Tri-City zone. Goes to the Americans. Up the left boards comes Scherstenka. Dumping it in left for Duval. Goes into the corner. In after it is Don Schmidt. Schmidt leaving it loose along the boards. Blazers have it. Huber
nice
back
check.
into neutral ice, and Huber is clobbered by LeBrun. Puck goes in left of the net. In behind it again, Don Schmidt for the Blazers. He'll start the breakout. It goes right side to Linford, and it's knocked away by the Americans. Here comes Barnes. Barnes in on Cook. Fires his shot. Missed and or blocked, and Duval trying for the rebound. And he won't get the rebound in either. He about had Dean Cook beaten between the skates.
He sure did. Stu Barnes did a great poke check right there. Got the puck loose, skated right around the right face-off circle towards Dean Cook. Took it in on Dean, and Dean was a little bit deked out there and almost stuck it in right between the 5-hole there, in between both legs. Yet he stopped it, and it is still 0-0. We have a face-off.
Face-off will come to Cook's left, or Cook's right, your left, as you look on from center ice. Barnes with Duval and LeBrun. Huber with Shazowski and Looks like Bingham. Face-off won by the Americans. Dumped into the corner. Duval with it. Tried to center it. Cook breaks up the pass. And here come the Blazers. Don Schmidt into neutral ice. Hook checked away by Scherstenka. But the Blazers still have it. Shazowski leaving it in neutral ice for Linford. David dumps it in behind the Americans' net. Ferland goes around for it. Can't play it, and Zach Boyer has it. Boyer playing it left to right. Back behind the Blazer net. Big hit put on there as Duval loses his stick and everything. A shot taken from up front. They go high on Ferland, does Harrison, and it goes right up over the net. Now back out to Kim Deck, and Deck lets it get right by him at the blue line. And back to touch it, backboard is Stephen Ewell, and we'll have an offside pass for the Blazers as Barnes and Ewell trade shoves.
This game is already starting to look like it's going to be a very physical game. We're just about 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes into the hockey game right now, and both teams showing a little bit of extra physical activity down there.
Barnes suffering that bruised kidney in the first game of the year. Actually, first game after Christmas break between these two on the 27th of December. It'll be Rennie facing off against Brian Shantz now. Shantz out of Edmonton, 18-year-old rookie in this league. Rennie, a 2-year veteran. Face-off won by the Blazers. They take it in behind the Americans' net. Rennie pokes it loose. Now here comes Krauss with it for Tri-Cities. Krauss, neat outlet pass to Delcourt. Greg Delcourt dumping it into the Kamloops zone, goes into the corner. Ewell in right of the net. Ewell plays it out along the boards, intended for Cruz. As they scramble for it along the boards. Puck loose. Rennie knocking it back into the corner. Back in after it is Kim Deck for the Blazers. Deck pasted to the boards by Rennie, and Delcourt has the puck. Delcourt having it stripped away. Tried to backhand it to Rennie. Couldn't. Here comes Shantz. Brian Shantz. 3-on-3 as the Americans pick up their guys. Shantz wheels around into the left corner. Dumping, or into the point. Dumping it into the corner, and Krauss there to knock it back. The Americans try to get it across the blue line. And finally it's knocked loose. Tri-Cities will have it. Spenrath feeding a pass head to Delcourt. Nice give and go with Rennie. Here goes Rennie trying to poke it in alongside the net. Comes back out to the point to Spenrath. Huber hits him. Spenrath losing it to Bingham. Bingham 2-on-2. Here comes Bingham. Gets around Jaques and Krauss. Knocks the puck loose. Goes to the right boards. Delcourt back into neutral ice. Now Linford ripping it back into the Tri-City zone. Ferland out for it. He'll let it go to Jaques. Jaques all the way around behind the net. And it's dumped back in again behind the Tri-Cities net. Krauss now. Outlet pass to Dirksen. Dirksen cross ice to Delcourt. Back to McNutt. Goes right. Here comes Jaques. Jaques across the blue line. Jaques with it. Has it chopped loose, but McNutt will keep it in play. Now to Jaques. He rips it around the net right to left. Cook there to stop it. Leaves it out for Corey Anderson.
Nice
Anderson
check.
to Huber. Huber right. Goes to Bingham. Bingham 2-on-3. Brings it across the blue line. Bingham tried to center it for Shazowski, and it goes back across the blue line into neutral ice. Now Dirksen takes it away. 2-on-2. Dirksen and Kwiatkowski slides it in toward Cook. Cook come out and broke up the play. Another big check as McNutt goes down. Now Shazowski across the blue line, but the Blazers were offside.
Steve McNutt took a shot right there from Bingham as he headed off the ice, but boy, as the action picked up, and is it furious right now.
No score in the hockey game. Kirk Williamson along with Tony Ott and Jason Heineman. Jason, both teams kind of feeling each other out, it looks like, to start with.
Yeah.
Face-off will come just outside the Tri-Cities blue line. It'll be LeBrun and Duval. The wings for Barnes. Team enter Krauss and Cutaway. Barnes to face off against Cal McGowan. McGowan with Sador and Boyer. Won by the Americans, knocked into the Kamloops zone, and now shot the length of the ice as LeBrun was upended by the Blazers. It'll be icing when Schmidt goes back to touch it.
And they'll bring it all the way back down in front of Frank Ferland. This team, Kamloops, no stranger to Frank Ferland and vice versa. Frank Ferland has played in all but 20 minutes of the 7 games against the Kamloops Blazers this year.
Ferland came out for a rest, and Marty Braithwaite playing in that one period. Braithwaite from the Hobema Hawks on the Americans protected list. Wouldn't be surprised to see him here next year. LeBrun to face off with Pat Bingham. Now LeBrun being asked to leave, and Barnes will step back into the face-off circle against Boyer. Barnes against Boyer. And Boyer winning the draw. Shot by Schmidt. He scores! Schmidt, as Boyer drew it right back to Barnes. And Schmidt one time's a big slap shot. And that quieted the crowd right down.
Boy, sure did.
That was a pretty shot by Don Schmidt.
That certainly was. A great face-off. Zach Boyer beating Stu Barnes, flipping it right back to the right point. And Don Schmidt taking a shot from out there at about 45 feet out, collecting his 5th goal of the season. Kamloops leads 1-0.
And the faceoff will come at center ice. Faceoff won by the Blazers again. Goes back to Linford, to Schmidt, right to Linford. Linford beats it left, and it's stolen by LeBron. Dumped into the Kamloops zone. Racing it after it is Schmidt. Barnes tried to get wood on it, couldn't. And down goes Duval as he's really clobbered, and the Blazers have the puck. Chazowski 1-on-2. Leaves it behind in the slot. Tried to get it to Linford. Linford losing it. Here come the Americans. Barnes with it. It's Barnes-Zaramba time across the blue line to LeBron. LeBron Duval, and Murray couldn't get to it as Cook came out and poke-checked it away. Now the puck shot off the glass around behind the net as Schmidt works Barnes over. Barnes into the corner. It comes out to Krauss at the point. Krauss chipping it back down right of the net. Barnes chases after it. Schmidt there to take it away, and here come the Blazers. Now Schmidt shooting it into neutral ice. And back for it will be Krauss for the Americans. Rob Krauss wheeling around behind his net. Outlet pass to Duval. Bad pass from Duval, knocked down by Buchanan. And Delcourt will have to take Buchanan against the boards. Taken out of there by Ryan Harrison. Harrison goes right, chance the shot. And Furlan comes out of the net to play it. Furlan ripping it around the boards, right in the net. Chance with it again. Left-hander in the slot, a shot! Oh, just wide of the net, Buchanan. Furlan may have gotten a skate on it. Krauss dumps it back into neutral ice, and the Americans will chase after it. Rennie in a foot race with Deck. Deck will touch it first and get the icing call.
And that was basically a desperation shot. They wanted to clear it down and kind of get a little bit of a rest. You know, the Blazers, they are 14-7-2 when they score first. And they scored first against Tri-Cities Tuesday night and ended up losing a very heartbreaker, according to Coach Ken Hitchcock, a very, very disappointing loss up there at Kamloops.
Well, it was. It was a come-from-behind victory for the Americans, and those are always tough to swallow. Face-off to the left of Furlan, won by the Americans. Back for it is Jaques. Jaques around behind his net. Jaques and Scherstenka, the defenseman, goes to Dan Scherstenka, left side. Gets it across the blue line, tried to feather a pass to Rennie, and couldn't do it, and the Americans are offside, I believe.
Yep, that's what it's going to be.
Face-off will come in between the red and blue line, just near the center ice area. On the near side, right by the penalty box. It would be a little bit to Furlan's left. Face-off won by Rennie easily to Jaques. Jaques dumping it into the Kamloops zone. Ewell back into neutral ice. Scherstenka there for the Americans. Right to Jaques. Jaques ahead to Rennie. Rennie across the blue line. Beats Kim Deck to the corner. Tried to center it, and Delcourt couldn't get to the puck. Stolen away by the Blazers. Here comes Kamloops. That's McGowan. McGowan dumping it into the corner now. Furlan out to play it. Bangs it back along the glass. It'll go back into neutral ice. Don Schmidt there. Feeds it on the right side, but Scherstenka for the Americans now. Both teams, or the Blazers, in a shift change. Now Spenrath on the ice for the Americans as he missed the pass. Greg Spenrath getting it right back as Jaques is upended by the Blazers. Spenrath playing it along the boards. McNutt chasing it after it. Big hit on McNutt by Linford, and McNutt loses his stick. Puck in the Kamloops zone. Now Spenrath shoots it up into the crowd. 11:36 to go in the first period here at the Tri-Cities Coliseum, and it is a good crowd tonight, Tony. Maybe very close to a sellout, but a quiet crowd.
Yeah, okay, Kirk, let's take a guess here. I say 57.
59-50.
59-50.
How about you,
Jason?
Jason, you want to take a guess at the crowd?
That's about 6,000.
6,000, okay. Sellout, it's Jason's. Now Cole with a shot blocked by Cook. Into the corner. On the face-off they go. McNutt with it. Trying to get it away from Kamloops. Blazers dig it away. Puck loose at center ice. Taken out of there by Ewell. Here comes Stephen Ewell. Drop pass left for Harrison. And the Americans shoot it back into center ice. Puck along in the neutral ice area. Shot into the Tri-City zone. Now saved out of there by Kwiatkowski. Shot to McNutt. He dumps it across the blue line. The Americans chase in after it. Ewell in there first for the Blazers. Going to take a big hit by Dirksen. Leaves the puck behind, though, to Kim Deck. Deck will shoot it the length of the ice and will have icing if Shane Cole can get to it. No, Furlan comes out and says, woo, just play it back into neutral ice, boys. And the Blazers wheel back to get it. Wheeling into his own zone, Linford feeding it left now to Schmidt. Don Schmidt across the blue line, goes right to Huber. Huber left to Shazowski. Neat pass to Shazowski. He drives it in left of the net. Puck comes off the boards now. Duval with it. Duval out to Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski to Barnes. Barnes overskated the puck and is shot back to neutral ice. And Shazowski with it. Shazowski leaving it for Bingham. Bingham across the blue line, and Krauss is there to take it away for the Americans. Rob Krauss. Outlet pass to Duval. Broken up by Huber. Huber goes left. Shazowski had to lean back to get it. Gets a neat pass to Huber in the corner. And Huber trying to take a shot around Furlan. Can't do it. And here come the Americans now. LeBrun. LeBrun with Barnes. Neat pass to Barnes. Breakaway. Barnes. Shoots. Scores. Stu Barnes. Boy, you can see that one coming.
You sure could. Stu Barnes.
What a pass by LeBrun. What a goal by Barnes.
And I'll tell you what, those two, when they get hot, they get hot. And Stu Barnes goes in all alone on Dean Cook. Dips him to his left, dips him to his right, back to his right again, puts it right on the ice, slits it right in there on the left-hand side, right-hand side of the net, and it's tied up 1-1.
Jason, that was a pretty move by Barnes, wasn't it?
Yeah, it sure was.
14, Stu Barnes. The assist from number 18, Sean LeBrun.
And you hear public address announcer Tom Lathan making the announcement as the Americans steal the puck into the Kamloops zone. A shot from the right side. And Cook comes up with it in the glove. Shot taken by Robertson from the right side. And Cook there to make the glove save.
That is Stu Barnes' 8th goal against Kamloops this year. Stu Barnes, since returning to the lineup after the kidney injury, has 4 goals and 7 assists for 11 points.
We're tied at 2. Or tied at 1, rather, in the Tri-City Coliseum. Robertson against McGowan. McGowan winning the draw. Gets it out left side and gets it right back off the skate of Daryl Sador. Bad pass, cross ice right. Sador with it across the blue line. Cole takes him to the boards. Bang. Rick Fry around behind the Tri-Cities net. Fry with it for the Americans as they tie it up in the corner. Fry and Zach Boyer. Now Jaques poking the puck loose. Plays it out along the boards to the right. Krauss played it back along the boards. Back out in front of the slot. And it's cleared out by Jaques for the Americans. Here comes Tri-Cities. Calvin Nibbs. Nibbs a drive and it's blocked by Dean Cook. Cook with the glove and Robertson taking a little poke at Cook and getting poked back by Creighton. Now we got sticks in the air and people... Kevin Robertson is not the guy you'd expect, 1, to take a little extra shot at Cook, or 2, to be in there going nose to nose with Corey Creighton.
Well, he's a pretty tough little cookie, though. He'll go right in there, and he did. He went on a kamikaze mission right in on the Cookie Monster, Dean Cook, and gave him a little extra advice on how to goaltend, I think.
Yeah, I think he did. Change the shifts for the Americans. It's Rennie with Delcourt and Spenrath now, and the defensemen are Sherstenka and Krauss. As Sherstenka taking the puck away on the faceoff, now losing it to the Blazers. Here comes Kamloops. Brian Shantz. Shantz to the right side. Tries to get a shot away. He does. Rebound in the slot. And there's Delcourt to save it for the Americans. Oops, that could have been trouble. Delly dumping it in left to the Kamloops net. Comes out to Rennie off the boards. Rennie playing it in along the boards with Shantz there to take it off his stick. Brian Shantz. Here comes Shantz for the Blazers. Right side to Harrison. Harrison back now to Stephen Ewell. Ewell losing it at the blue line. Spenrath takes a whack at it. Now Shantz dumping it into the Tri-City zone. The Americans knock it back out. Delcourt shooting it in left of the net. Rennie goes in after it. Rennie with it. Wheels around and is wiped out in the corner by Ewell. Spenrath trying to center it up front. Now it comes out to Krauss. Krauss is right. Spenrath got it to go. Spenrath from Krauss.
Rob Krauss takes a shot from the right side and gets a lot of interference on the way in there. And with the rebound is Greg Spenrath. And Greg Spenrath has now picked up his 6th goal against Kamloops. In 8 games, he has 6 goals and 3 assists.
Well, that was a pretty play. It was done just right by Krauss at the left point, taking the original shot. And then the Americans, Spenrath, hanging around right in there close. And now the Americans winning the draw, dumping it into the Kamloops zone. In after it is Schmidt. Bang! A big hit on Schmidt by Barnes. And we have a whistle. Our first penalty of the night, I believe.
Yeah, I believe you're right on that, Kirk. I haven't seen it.
And it may be against Stu Barnes. Let's see.
I think.
No.
What's...
Puck was apparently knocked out of play. All right. 2-1. Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. That is a little strange. Barnes with Duval and LeBrun on the wings. The defenseman, Kutowitz and Jaques. Comes out to LeBrun. LeBrun, a shot. Goes left to the net. Bounces off the boards, comes back out to Linford. Linford shooting it into neutral ice. Jaques will first touch it for the Americans for the icing call. Ferland holding his glove hand up in the air to signal that there is icing underway if the Americans can get to the puck first.
You know, Kirk, Frank Ferland is 11-15-2 this year, and he's being touted not only as one of the best rookie goaltenders in the WHL, but also as one of the best rookie anything. He has a possibility to win Rookie of the Year. Stu Barnes won it last year, and the last time that it was done back-to-back by teams was back in 80 through 82 for the Regina Pats.
Faceoff will come to the right of Dean Cook, your left as you look on from center ice. In the big face-off circle, puck is down. Barnes winning the draw, gets it out to Duval. Now Duval in the slot, shoots, backhanded. LeBrun there to shovel it back toward the net. Cook comes up with a couple of saves. Huber along the boards. Barnes keeping it in, turn around, slaps it toward the slot. Now it's dumped in by Duval, wide of the net. Comes back out to the point. Jaques tried to get it down to Barnes, and they go in after it. Barnes along with Cruz. Now back in behind the Kamloops net. Blazers with it. But Duval puts a hit on his man. Puck goes loose along the boards. Now it's kicked loose to Huber. Huber to Cruz. Paul Cruz, 1-on-3. Cruz a shot, and Ferland puts that one right up into the crowd.
Nice little souvenir up there in the E section.
Jason, he likes to put those up there because nobody gets a rebound on a play like that.
Yeah.
2-1. They score the Tri-City Americans and the Kamloops Blazers. Face-off will come to Ferland's right-hand side, the stick side. Your left as you look on from center ice.
You know, Kirk, something a little different that we haven't seen here, and that's that penalty. We haven't seen a penalty yet.
No, in 12.5 minutes we haven't seen a penalty. McNutt on the face-off with Cal McGowan. And they'll do it one more time. This time McNutt's out and Kwiatkowski's in. And it goes to the Blazers back out front. Harrison shot. Ferland kicking it away to the right side. Now McNutt, outlet pass intended for Kwiatkowski. Deck there to break it up, but Shane Cole right behind him to flip it into the Kamloops zone. Deck for the Blazers will try to break it out. Ahead to number 6, Linford. Cross ice right, Sidor there. Dumped away by the Americans, back to Anderson. And we have an offside as the Blazers had a man trapped in the zone.
Zach Boyer was down there in front of the puck, and anytime you're in ahead of the blue line, ahead of the puck, it is an offside, and they'll bring it right back out, and we're going to have a face-off here.
Face-off will come just outside the Tri-Cities blue line. Face-off won by the Blazers. A shot taken from outside the blue line by Ewell. Ferland knocking it away right of the net. And Cole back behind the net for it. Cole ahead to McNutt. Neat pass. McNutt to Kwiatkowski. 3-on-2. Left to Dirksen. Dirksen shot. Cook. Rebound. Chipped in by Kwiatkowski. Darren Kwiatkowski.
Devin Dirksen takes a shot right on Dean Cook. A slap shot, an uncontrolled rebound. Leaves it right out in front for Darren Kwiatkowski, who pops it in the net for his 9th goal of the season, and the Americans take a 3-1 lead.
And the goal coming, the third goal coming at the 13:22 mark for the Tri-City Americans. Well, Kamloops started the scoring, but it has been all Tri-City since then. Now the line is Barnes with Duval and LeBrun against Huber with Bingham and Shizowski. Barnes winning the draw. Draws it back now to Jaques. Jaques left Kutowicz. Kutowicz ahead to Barnes. Bad pass. It'll go across the blue line, though, into the Kamloops zone, but Shizowski there for the Blazers. Barnes, Shizowski made a bad pass. Barnes into LeBrun behind the net. They center it. Duval trying to chip it in. No, and a whistle. As Duval tried to backhand it in, and I think number 9, Bingham, got a piece of it.
You know, Kirk, Kamloops on the road has not done very well this year. They are 4-12-2. They have been outscored 104-82 on the road this year.
Huber against Barnes on the faceoff. It goes back to Schmidt in the corner behind the net. Barnes races in after him, but Schmidt makes a nice move there to get away from Barnes. Headman pass goes to Huber across the blue line. Goes left now. Shizowski in the corner, and LeBrun pastes him to the board.
Great check.
And it comes out now to Jaques. Jaques with it around behind the net for the Americans. Jaques bringing it up. Steve Jaques. Jaques all the way down himself. Jaques' a shot. Smothered up front by Don Schmidt, but Duval chases in after it. Now they center it again, but Jaques was on his knees. Now the Blazers shooting it back to neutral ice. Kutowicz goes back for it for the Americans. Kelly shoots an outlet pass to Barnes. Barnes with it, being checked by Zach Boyer. Barnes sweeps it behind him now, leaving it behind the net to Kutowicz. Back out to Duval. Big hit on Duval there by Boyer. Puck into the corner, right of the Tri-Cities net. Blazers with it. They try to dig it loose. Now Barnes has it. Barnes losing it to McGowan. Barnes getting it back. McGowan takes it away from him. And now Kutowicz out to play it off the boards hard into the Kamloops zone. Foot race. Deck and Delcourt. Deck tapping it back out to a teammate, Boyer. Boyer with it. Big hit on him by Spenrath. Delcourt taking the puck away from McGowan. Spenrath getting to it. Now it's shot back into the Tri-City zone. There's Scherstenka. Outlet pass to Rennie. Rennie will have to work to get it through neutral ice. Now skies it into the Kamloops zone. Racing it after it for the Blazers, David Linford. Linford feeding it out left for Kamloops. Now the Blazers come ahead with it. Goes to Boyer. Boyer across the blue line right. Checked off the puck.
And we got a penalty, our first one.
And a penalty will be coming up. Shot toward the net. Ferland knocking it down. Puck loose in the slot. And a fight going on now as Krauss and Linford. Krauss trying to get Linford's helmet off. Krauss and Linford, both with their helmets on, they have really taken some pokes. Now Krauss takes Linford to the ice. And the referees and linesmen dive in to break it up.
I think he gets 2 points for a takedown on that one.
I think so. And Krauss showing the fans what it's all about. Linford still wants to fight with Krauss. Holding up 3 fingers for Krauss, like, well, you know, how many times? Now Krauss, I think he'll leave the ice. 5 minutes for fighting.
Yeah.
And Linford also.
That's great. When Rob gets going, he's basically the cheerleader of the entire team, and he has got this crowd going. And everybody on the other side of the arena right now is pointing to Linford and helping him exit the bench area.
What do you
there.
think, Jason? How would you score that one? Did Krauss win it or not?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, what, on the takedown?
Yeah.
I don't think you get many points for hitting a guy with his helmet still on, though, do you?
Good takedown, though.
You said you play football. It's not really too bright to hit a guy who's still got his helmet on, is it?
Nope, not really.
Well, the faceoff will come to the left-hand side of Frank Ferland. You're right as you look on from center ice.
You know,
now Barnesy skating across over to the penalty box. Here are the penalties. Stand by.
Blazers, the penalty to number 6. Defenseman David Linford, 5 minutes for fighting. For your Tri-City Americans, number 2, Rob Krauss, 2 minutes for tripping and 5 minutes for fighting. The time of the penalty is 15:26.
And Krauss's penalty will be served by Barnes. The 2-minute minor to Krauss as the puck shot back into the Kamloops zone. And Brian Shantz back there to get the puck from the Cookie Monster, Dean Cook. And here they come. Shantz with it across the blue line. Slaps one into the Tri-City zone. All the way around, left to right. Taken off the boards by Harrison. Harrison back to the blue line. They lose it. Shazowski, and we have a whistle.
We got an offside. They brought back into the zone.
Shazowski taking it back across the blue line. And then back into the attack zone, and there was a man trapped inside.
Kamloops is 9 for 58 opportunities for 15.5% against the Americans this year on power plays.
There will be the face-off now, won by Nibs, and a quick whistle. So we'll start over. Nibs against Hubert. There will be a Reuter bus, by the way, to the Spokane game on Wednesday. The bus will leave at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Round-trip bus and the game ticket, $25. For information, you can call 783-8448. 783-8448. On the face-off, the puck shot into the Kamloops zone. Shantz racing back for it. 3-1, but the Blazers are on a power play. The Americans with the lead. Comes out along the boards. Nibs working on Shantz. They manage to knock it loose. Back into the Kamloops zone. Back for it are the Kamloops Blazers. Kind of a quiet crowd tonight as Don Schmidt brings it up now. Schmidt, headman right. Hubert knocks it off the boards, and Kutowicz there to dump it back in to the Kamloops zone. The Blazers having trouble breaking into the Tri-Cities end. Schmidt now ahead to Huber, and it's knocked away again by Kutowicz. And iced again by Spenrath. Back behind the Kamloops net is Brian Shantz. Shantz brings it up again. Quick pass up the right side to Huber, or to Boyer rather. Now shot in behind the Tri-Cities net, and Jaques there to slap it along the board. Del Court to ice it one more time for the Americans. Hard to do much damage from 200 feet away.
That's right.
Back behind the net now goes Corey Anderson. Anderson feeds left to Don Schmidt. Knocked off the skates of Spenrath. Schmidt back to get it. Schmidt with it in neutral ice. Goes to the right side now to Anderson. Anderson across the blue line with it. Corey Anderson taking it into the corner. Centered, and it's slapped away.
And a penalty coming up.
By Jaques. Penalty coming up. 3-1. Americans leading.
And it's a high sticking against Shane Cole, it looks like.
That will be the Americans' second power play, or the Blazers' second power play. 2 seconds remaining in the first one.
Stu getting the signal right now from Coach John Olver across the bench, holding up his fingers indicating 2 seconds left, so they're going to figure out exactly what line they want to put out there.
17:24 remaining, or that the time of the penalty, 17:24.
Shane Cole sporting a new beard there, it looks like, Kirk.
He was working on that on the trip. What a brutal road trip. Kamloops and then Portland the next day. Face-off, LeBrun against Brian Shantz to the right of Ferland. Shantz winning the draw. Comes up top of the slot to Bingham. Bingham slides it down. Knocked away by the Americans. Into the corner, right of the net. Now it's a single power play. The second one underway. 2 seconds with a 5-on-3, and now it's 5-on-4. Jaques in behind the net as it goes, as he's chased back in there by Buchanan. Puck comes out along the net, along the boards rather, to Bingham. Bingham goes right to Shantz, and a whistle. The stick flies away out front.
I think looks like Shantz might be sitting down. Ryan Harrison looks like he's going to the box for interference. No, excuse me, check that. Trevor Buchanan.
Interference to call, and the Blazers not happy about that. But Buchanan, and that'll take care of the Blazers' power play. Comes at 17:51 of the period. And we remain a 3-1 game. The Americans will have their first power play of the night for 33 seconds, or for 27 seconds rather, just before the period runs out. Face-off will come just outside the Tri-Cities blue line. It will be Barnes with Duval and LeBrun for the Americans. 4-on-4 now for a minute and a half. As the faceoff goes to Schmidt for the Blazers. Schmidt left. A shot taken by Sador. Blocked by Furlan. Big rebound, but Barnes is there. Barnes, headman left to LeBrun. LeBrun, a neat move. LeBrun swings it right to Duval. Duval scores.
And that was pure hockey right there. You saw Sean LeBrun stick handling that down the ice, takes it into the Kamloops zone, does a nifty little pass over to Murray DeVal, and Murray DeVal pops it in the net. And Murray DeVal is on a bit of a streak as well. That just makes his 4th game in a row he's made a point. He has now got 4 goals and 2 assists, and he scored the game winner again against Kamloops on Tuesday night, so they definitely know him very well.
Like John Olver said, you know the difference between the great rib we had at Earl's and a Big Mac. 10 seconds. In 10 seconds, it took Murray DeVal to score that game winner the other night. Barnes on the faceoff with Huber. Huber winning it. Steps right through the circle. Steps in on Furlan. Fakes a shot. Goes to the slot. Shoots wide of the net. It hit the pipe. And Huber goes in after it with Shazowski. Shazowski now wheels into the slot. Knocked away from him by Sherstenka. Here comes Barnes. Barnes, Sherstenka, and LeBrun right side. LeBrun has to leave it behind, but Jaques there for the Americans. Sliding it in underneath. Now the puck shot back out. And the Blazers get it ahead to Shazowski. Shazowski, but he's 1-on-4. Knocked off the puck by Barnes. Sherstenka around behind the net. Dan Sherstenka. A headman pass to LeBrun. LeBrun loses it, but Dan Sherstenka right there for the Americans. Now to Jaques. Whoops. They lose it to McGowan, but Sherstenka again there to take it away. Now he heads it for Barnes on the boards. Barnes checked off of it. Backboard is McGowan. 1 minute to play in the period. Deck banging it off the boards. Back into the Tri-City zone. Backboard is Sherstenka. This one, he rips right off the linesman. Oh, he just drilled the linesman in the back of the leg as the puck goes around behind the net. In after it, Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski losing it as he tried to center, but there was nobody there for the Americans. Now Ruck in behind the net. Colin Ruck. Ruck playing it out along the boards to Shane Cole. Cole, headman right to Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski left to Rennie and a whistle. Offsides against the Americans.
Boy, I'll tell you something, Kirk. That linesman is really rubbing his left leg there. He really took a shot on that slap shot. It bounced right off of his leg.
Yeah, he may go to one of the trainers to see if he can get a little...
I saw goalie coach Jim Craig over there asking him if he was all right, and I think that he may be a visitor to goalie coach Jim Craig here after the period.
Yeah, Craig, of course, the team's trainer, also coaches the goalies. Delcourt and Spenrath digging for the puck on the faceoff. Now Duval with it along the blue line. Backhand shot knocked down by Rennie. Goes into the corner right. Delcourt out. Spenrath shot! Great save by Cook. Chopped back in by Duval. Into the corner they go. 7 seconds remaining in the period. Puck knocked loose. Here comes Buchanan. Shoots it into the Tri-City zone. 1 second. Time runs out. Oh, Dean Cook making a great save.
Excellent save.
Shot.
Excellent save.
The score at the end of the period, the Tri-City Americans 4, Kamloops Blazers 1. We'll be back in 2 minutes on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast. Able to talk about because of the rules regarding lotteries.
Kirk, I have shots in that first period. For the Tri-City Americans, they took 15 shots at the net, and 4 of them found the red light. The Kamloops Blazers took a dozen shots, took 12, and 1 found it. 15-12 after the first period of play. And when the Kamloops Blazers are outshot on the ice during the entire game, they are 4-10.
Well, to be Barnes on the faceoff against Huber. Barnes with Val and LeBrun. Huber with Bingham and Shazowski. Both teams at full strength. Puck is dropped. Barnes slapping it toward LeBrun. But Huber there to take it away from him. Goes back to Ewell. Stephen Ewell at the blue line along with Schmidt. They get it into the Tri-City zone. Now the Americans clear it back out off the referee. It's kicked along the boards. On the right side now, Huber getting it loose, losing it to Duval. And Duval puts it right up into the crowd. Tried to play it off the glass, but unsuccessfully created a souvenir.
And it looks like she spilled a little bit of her soda down there, too. That kind of caught everybody by surprise. Right underneath us here, too.
Yeah, I kind of thought that one was going to hit the top of the glass. It turned out not to do that.
And, you know, that's a little problem, too, because this glass, the sight lines are so good here that you can almost, you have a tendency to forget the glass is even here, and those pucks come flying out of there. It's real dangerous sometimes.
Rennie against Huber now. Huber draws it back to Don Schmidt. Schmidt shooting it into the Tri-City zone, but Jaques there for the Americans. Now he's upended by Shazowski. Puck loose along the boards. They dig for it. Jaques working on Bingham. Puck shot out toward the center of the slot, knocked away by the Americans. Now to Delcourt. Delhi 1-on-3, dumping it into the Kamloops zone. The Americans wheel in after it. Rennie goes in on Yule. Bang, they go against the boards. Huber there to steal it away, and Delcourt knocks it away from him. Now Delhi walks in, and we have a whistle as Delcourt starts in on Dean Cook, and we'll have a cross-check.
We have a penalty, definitely. A cross-checking call, and it's not real sure who it's going against. It looks like it's going against Greg Spenrath with a patented captain crunch up there against the board. Maybe a little too much crunch in it. He's going to sit down for a couple minutes. Rob Krauss is serving a penalty as well, his remainder of his 5-minute fighting penalty from the first period.
Spenrath comes the 50 seconds of the period. Face-off just outside the Kamloops blue line. Stolen out of there by the Kamloops Blazers. Here comes Boyer. Boyer across center ice. Beats his man at the blue line. Taken away by the Americans and fired off the glass with the Blazers are there. A shot from the left point by Kim Deck. Blocked by Ferland. And Ferland was badly screened on that one. He barely saw the puck. Third power play of the night for the Blazers. The Americans with only one. Kamloops with it. They shoot it along the boards. Now Kwiatkowski for Tri-Cities. Kwiatkowski and McNutt. He shoots it back to the blue line, does Darren Kwiatkowski. Back into the Kamloops zone. Blazers there to take it away. Here comes Buchanan. Knocked away by Kwiatkowski. Goes left to Shazowski. David Shazowski, top of the slot. Checked away by McNutt. Back to the blue line into neutral ice. It goes to Anderson. Anderson whipping it in behind the net. Ferland out for it and leaves it for Jaques. Jaques firing it back into neutral ice. Here come the Americans. 2-on-2. Kwiatkowski and McNutt, but the puck's knocked loose. McNutt gets it right back. Big hit, McNutt on Anderson. Now the Blazers have it. It's 3-on-3, a shot, but it's deflected wide of the net. Here comes Don Schmidt. Schmidt wheels around, centers a shot blocked by Ferland. Brian Shantz on the centering pass that time. Shantz puts it in.
And boy, you could just see it, the working that Kamloops came out and did. And they did some excellent passing right around Frank Ferland, and you can only let Frank do so much. There's a little bit that you have to do defensively. Although it was some good defense by the Americans, some great passing by the Kamloops Blazers. That was a good goal.
Schmidt tried to center it to Shantz. Shantz's shot went left of the net. Schmidt centered it from the right. Shantz shot it, went left of the or right of the net, and Schmidt raced right in around behind the net, got the rebound, found Shantz on the left-hand side, and Brian able to pop it in.
DJSI 053 DUP HWP 9.
4-2. The Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. And the Blazers score a power play goal there, which makes it 1 for 3 on power plays tonight. Cutaway shooting it out to LeBrun. LeBrun can't handle it on the boards. Turnaround shot by Cruz. Wide of that. Comes out to the left side. Duval chasing it along the boards. Comes out to Schmidt. Schmidt along the blue line. Backhander and Ferland makes the pad save. Puck steered left. And trying to poke it in is McGowan. Now it's knocked loose and tied up on the net.
Well, that was awfully dangerous by Frank Ferland. He came out of his crease to cover up that puck right in front in the slot there. He misjudged it. The puck was still loose, squirting around, got around the side there, and one of the Blazers almost knocked it in from his knees. Luckily, Frank gave him around and pinned it up against the side of the net. We're going to have a face-off.
Number 19, Ryan Harrison, native of Kamloops, against Stu Barnes. Stewie, last year's Rookie of the Year in the Western Hockey League from Spruce Grove, Alberta. Puck on the faceoff, won by Barnes, dumped into neutral ice by Cole. Back go the Blazers. Kim Deck with it. Deck feeds it right. LeBrun knocks it loose. LeBrun to Barnes. Here comes Barnes. 1-on-2. Barnes takes Ewell into the corner. Now LeBron whips around behind the net. Tried to center it. Loses it to Harrison. Good play by Harrison and Deck. Now Ewell shoots it back out to the blue line. Lost there by the Americans. Fry dumping it into the Kamloops zone. Blazers there. Deck takes it away. Right he goes to Harrison. A shot. Furlan blocked it. Puck's loose in the slot.
And he scored.
Shot and scored is Harrison. And Furlan is not a happy camper on that one.
Shot taken at Frank Furlan. Frank doing a great leg save in the pad and had control of the rebound. What an angle shot right there. Harrison took a shot that he was heading right across the goal line and just kind of flipped it towards.
Yeah, he only had about 4 inches of goal there. Yeah.
And that was all it took, and he put it in the net, and now it is a one-goal game, 4-3. Ooh.
Let's see if there's an assist.
19, Ryan Harrison, the assist for number 21, Corey Anderson.
Anderson on the assist. The Americans with it, and Spenrath chips it right straight up into the crowd. And we'll have a face-off again in the neutral zone.
Well, I tell you what, this is just what the Americans did not want to have happen. The momentum has gone from the Americans out of the dressing room right back to the Blazers, and this is a hockey game for sure.
Huber against Rennie. Dogger winning the draw to Krauss. Shoots it across the blue line to Spenrath. Racing it after it is Delcourt. Delcourt gets hit by Schmidt. Puck goes loose along the board. Spenrath with it. Now Delcourt bringing it out. Delcourt flips it off of Shazowski. Shazowski breaking up the pass. Gets it ahead now left to Bingham. Bingham knocked down by Krauss. Puck shot back into the Kamloops zone. Delcourt races after it with Linford. Shot back along the boards now. Rennie has to dump the referee out of the way. And Bingham has it in neutral ice. Bingham shooting it in behind the Tri-Cities net. Furlan there. Furlan plays it all the way around the dasher board. It goes up to the point. The Americans knock it down. Here comes Rennie. Rennie backhands to Delcourt. Delcourt sweeps it back to Spenrath, but Spenrath on a shift change. And he was headed to the bench. Shazowski with it for the Blazers. In the slot, tries to wrist it. Furlan will cover it up. Furlan out of the crease as Shazowski tried to take that wrist shot, and Furlan there to cover it up.
And I'll tell you what, if that had gotten by Frank Furlan, Pat McGowan was right in the crease, and Rob Krauss chasing him all the way around behind there. Frank Furlan comes out about 10 feet out to cover that puck up, and that's a good thing. That's a heads-up play by Frank Furlan.
4-3, the Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. And Jason, looks like the momentum's changing a little bit here, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure is.
Face off to the right of Frank Furlan as you look on from center ice. Furlan's left-hand side. Chance against Kwiatkowski. Kiwi winning it. Goes back into the corner, and Jaques has it. Jaques with the puck. Feeds it back up into neutral ice. Gets by Kim Deck into the Kamloops zone. Blazers shoot it back to neutral ice. They'll dig it loose along the boards. Great pass there by Boyer to Chance. Chance's shot blocked by Furlan. Comes out to Jaques. Jaques goes left to McNutt. McNutt has it taken off his stick by Boyer. Back into neutral ice. Cole there. Cole fires it into the Kamloops zone. It bounces right back out in front of the net, and Cook plays it off to the right side. Here come the Blazers now. Linford stolen away by Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski has it taken off his stick by Chance. Chance in front of the net. Shoots it back to neutral ice. Cole there for the Americans. Shane Cole shooting it back in. Deck there to break it up.
Penalty coming.
Cole upending McGowan. A penalty coming as the puck goes into the Tri-City zone.
And we have a high sticking call. And it looks like it's going against the Americans. Power play opportunity for the Kamloops Blazers.
Shane Cole comes to the penalty box. Cole getting it at 5:04. His second penalty of the night. And face-off will come to the right of the Tri-Cities goal to Furlan's left or glove side. In the big face-off circle, it'll be Huber or Rennie against Bingham. A shot on the face-off, and it goes right up into the crowd.
And that had some muscle behind it there.
Stephen Ewell blasting one from the right point, and it goes right up over the glass.
Nice lady over there rubbing our shoulder a little bit.
Getting a souvenir. Down the face-off, won by the Blazers. They take it into the Tri-City zone. It's knocked back across the blue line. Back now it goes to Ewell. Ewell ahead along the right boards. Good give and go there with Shazowski. Puck loose, stolen by Rennie.
Breakaway.
Here comes Rennie on a breakaway. Rennie beats to the right side and just lost it. His cook came out and took it away from him. Now Huber takes it off of Rennie's stick. Boy, Rennie needs to get a couple of those. Out to Shazowski along the boards. Back to Don Schmidt. Schmidt starting the rush. Headman pass for Huber. But Shazowski there, take it away. A shot! Rebound comes out to the right side as Ferland blocks it away. Now Nibbs for the Americans. Nibbs dumping it into the Kamloops zone. Back after to Schmidt. Quick shift change for the Tri-City Americans. Schmidt back into his own end. Headman pass goes left for Brian Chance. And Chance gets clobbered by Jaques. Chance goes down. He took, I think, looks like he might have got the end of Jake's
yeah, I think there was
right in the gourd. I think that's 4-3. The Americans leading as trainer Spike Wallace comes out for the Kamloops Blazers, and they'll have a little talk with Brian Chance, make sure he's okay. 14:01 to go in the period. We'll take a brief timeout. 30 seconds on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast. Brian Chance gets up off the ice and goes off under his own steam. Jason looked to me like he kind of caught the end of Jaques' stick there on that check in center ice.
Yeah, it sure did. It looked like it hurt.
Yeah, I'm sure it did that. He went down and spent some time on the on his face there. It looks like he's okay now.
Yeah.
And classy reaction of the crowd to give him a good hand as he gets up. I'll tell you what, that doesn't happen in some places in this league.
Yeah, I know, and that's good to see, too. The Tri-City fans here have really impressed a lot of people, and a lot of big people throughout all of hockey. And they've come here to see this, and that's a real classy move. Way to go, Tri-Cities.
Now they're doing a little corrective work on the ice, and Rob Krauss over to have a word with one of the officials. I can't imagine what he's got to complain about on that play. Minute 5 remaining in the penalty to Cole. Kamloops remains on their 4th power play. Delcourt knocking it back, and now Krauss shooting it into the Kamloops zone. Racing it after it is Sador. Sador will leave it back behind the Kamloops net. Comes out left now to Don Schmidt. The big defenseman brings it up to center ice. Schmidt getting around Spenrath. Goes into the right corner. Don Schmidt leaving it there, but Delcourt to flip it into the crowd. Don Schmidt, an 8th round pick of the Minnesota North Stars. He is a good one.
He's a great defenseman, and he's well touted as well. And
Blazers still missing Pat McLeod.
Yeah, right. And that's tough, too, because Pat McLeod, a defenseman, has 11 goals and 30 assists. 30 assists. Leads defenseman with assists and has 41 points. What a guy to have off the ice.
Faceoff comes to Ferland's right-hand side, won by the Blazers. Blazers go left. Deck a drive, blocked up front by Nibbs. And a broken stick goes to the ice. Nibbs without his stick. He broke his stick, and now he's just trying to cover it up with his skates successfully. And Calvin will go get a new stick.
That's a good, smart play by Calvin Nibbs. What he was trying to do right there was to buy enough time, freeze that puck up there so he could go over and get himself a new stick and come back and play this game with a stick instead of without one.
Well, they've discovered a new level of volume for the public address, for the music on the PA system in here tonight. This one is about 98% of the threshold of pain. Face off to Ferland's left side. Rennie is chased, and in comes Nibbs against Chance. And it goes back to the left corner. Back up front now to Sador. Feeds it down to the right. Hubert. Blazers on the power play. Right to Shazowski. Stolen away by Rennie. To Krauss. Krauss slapping it back into the Kamloops zone. Dean Cook will come out to leave it for Deck. Well, Rennie was all over him, so he had to play it along the boards. Rennie there, trying to take it away from Chance. He takes Chance down. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
A hold against Rennie.
And, you know, that's what happens here is that they get so close to killing off one of the penalties. They got 4 seconds left in the Shane Cole penalty. And now we have another 2 minutes to kill. And the Blazers have scored already 1 time on the power play this period.
Yep, the first goal, Brian Chance's goal, was on the power play. Now Steve Rennie goes to have a seat with Shane Cole. Cole being there for 2 seconds, or 4 seconds. Oh, check, it wasn't. It was Nibbs. I apologize. It is Calvin Knebs from Bow Island, Alberta. Now Barnes goes over to have a word with the bench. LeBrun. Now LeBrun and Barnes.
And they're looking over towards the penalty box area.
Trying to get Cole led onto the ice. And telling Shane Cole that he's supposed to step right into the play.
Right.
Barnes wins the draw, shoots it back to neutral ice. 1 second. Puck goes right of the net. Ferland comes out, plays it to neutral ice. Now Shane Cole into the play. And it goes back into the Kamloops zone. So the 5-on-3 opportunity lost for the Kamloops Blazers. And here comes Schmidt. Headman pass left to Shantz. Gets around Jaques this time. Tries to center to Huber. And it's blocked away out front. And the Americans ice it again. Good defensive play by Tri-Cities.
Very good.
Schmidt back around behind his net. Here comes Don Schmidt one more time. Schmidt firing it into the corner. Ferland there to stop it, and Jaques comes around for the Americans. Goes out to the point left. Don Schmidt feeds the pass right side. Shazowski. Cole there to break it up. Shane Cole. Cole out to LeBrun. LeBrun up to the point. Deck gets his stick on it. LeBrun upends Deck. Huber shot blocked by Ferland. Goes off into the left boards. Now out to the left point. Don Schmidt. Schmidt working on Barnes. Pass goes left to Huber. Jaques out to knock it down. Back to neutral ice. Barnes racing after it. Barnes may get to it. He does. Barnes 2-on-2. Dribbles it toward the net. And Dean Cook comes out and pokes it away. Now here come the Blazers. Shazowski 2-on-2. Shazowski and Huber. Shazowski pulling up. Waits for help. Finds it. Up front by Sador. His shot blocked by Ferland. Loose in the slot. The Americans knock it away. Now shot back in there right of the net by Creighton. Back up to Corey Creighton at the point. Creighton slides it down the slot. He scores! I don't know quite how.
Well, what happened there, Kirk, is that Corey Creighton takes a shot from the left point, a slap shot that bounced all the way across the ice towards Frank Ferland, and as soon as it got in front of Frank Ferland, it short-hopped him, went right up over top of his shoulder into the right side of the net, and this game is tied 4-4.
Creighton will get, Creighton gets the goal.
Number 5, Corey Crichton with the assist from number 7, Phil Huber. The time of the goal, 8:32.
Huber getting the assist. And the face-off won by the Blazers. That's the second power play goal for Kamloops tonight. And Krauss back for the puck to Kutowicz. Cutter ahead now to McNutt. McNutt losing the puck in the neutral zone. Puck goes across the blue line. Great hit by Krauss as Kwiatkowski chasing it into the Kamloops zone. McNutt a shot just wide of the net. Into the corner they go. Kwiatkowski hammering Boyer. Puck knocked loose out to the point. Shot in by Kutowicz. Right out to the slot. Blazers try to bring it up, but Krauss there to dump it back in. Back for the Blazers is Creighton. Creighton with it. Chipped away. Kwiatkowski tried to get it. Now Krauss. And it's knocked away from them by McGowan. Here comes Cal McGowan. 2-on-2, but Dirksen taking McGowan off the puck. Goes to Boyer, and he's knocked away. And the puck goes into the corner left. As Boyer gets upended, and we have a whistle.
A high sticking. And I'll tell you something. Kirk, referee LaRue right there did not know what to call. He wanted to call either a hooking or high sticking, and I think what he's really wanted to call was a hooking penalty. That's what it looked like more than anything. Darren's going to go sit down regardless for 2 minutes.
Well, yeah, it's hard to define the difference. In that particular case, is he hooked Boyer in the face, so which is generally up above your shoulder, so it could have gone either way.
You know, Kirk, we've played almost 10 minutes of the second period, and the Tri-City Americans are in the process of killing or into their 8th minute of penalties.
Yep. And it's tied as the Blazers come out and score 3 to tie it up on the power play. That's power play number 6 for Kamloops. Puck goes in around behind the Tri-Cities net. Krauss chasing after it with Rennie. Rennie shoots it around now to Kutowicz. Cutter ahead to Nibs. It rolls back into neutral ice. Back for it. Here's number 25, Sador. He's knocked off the puck by Rennie, and they chase back in, or Sador knocks Rennie off the puck. Puck goes in behind the Kamloops net. They bring it out now to Schmidt. Here comes Don Schmidt. Schmidt across center ice. feeds it in left of the Tri-Cities net. Furlan playing it out to Nibbs. Calvin blasts one off the glass, and it ricochets into the Kamloops player bench.
Well, it looks to me like Ken Hitchcock, one of the most winning percentage coaches in all of WHL history. Ken Hitchcock has been coaching now for 4 years and is second among coaches as far as wins. It looks to me like he used a little bit of his coaching talents and went into that first intermission and told the team what to do.
And the face-off won by the Blazers. Shot back into the Tri-Cities net. Right of the net it goes to Buchanan. Buchanan shoved off the play by Cole. Shane Cole working hard down there in the corner. Now the Blazers bring it out. Top of the slot. Deck tried to feed a pass on the right side to Harrison. Puck's knocked loose and iced by the Americans. 57 seconds remaining in the penalty. Back forward is Deck behind his own net. Kim Deck feeds an outlet pass to Bingham. Bingham with it tied up along the boards. Now here comes Bingham. Bingham into neutral ice. Steps around Fry across the blue line. Picked up there by Dirksen. Puck goes in behind the Tri-Cities net. Back forward is Jaques. Jaques slapping it back out to the point. Stopped there by Creighton. Creighton shooting it back in behind the Tri-Cities net. Back forward is Kamloops. Bingham. Puck comes out to the point and it's iced again by the Americans. Back into the Kamloops zone. Go the Americans as Creighton wheels in behind his net to get it. Puck knocked loose. Shift change for Tri-Cities. Here they come. They shoot it into neutral ice. Off the boards, and it'll be icing when it's touched by Krauss. There you see the goalie's best friend. They'll face it off right down next to Dean Cook.
Well, it's Frank Furlan's best friend. In this case, Dean Cook's worst enemy, because they have to face it off right in front of Dean Cook.
4 seconds remaining in the penalty. Sean LeBrun will be the penalty box show guest at the end of the game.
This is the first of 2 games at home on this homestand on Sunday night. The Moose Jaw Warriors, an Eastern Division team, invades the Tri-City Coliseum. Game time on that is 6 o'clock. Looking forward to seeing Moose Jaw for the first time.
Well, the Americans beating Moose Jaw for their first win of that that long road trip. They beat Moose Jaw the morning after all those trades we talked about with Bob Strom in the first intermission. Face-off won by the Blazers. They take it around behind the net. Brian Shantz skies it right up into the crowd. And the guy tried to catch it in his hat, and I don't think he did. Yeah, he did. Did he?
I'm looking at him. He's kind of just sitting there. I'm not real sure.
Kind of looks like Ben Burdette, and I don't think he caught it. No, it went right over his hand. Face-off, top of the circle to the right-hand side of Dean Cook. We're tied at 4, Tri-Cities and Kamloops. 8:27 to go, second period in a sold-out Tri-Cities Coliseum. Barnes against Cal McGowan. Well, that means Jason was the closest to the actual attendance as the puck goes in around behind the net. Deck shooting it in, and Deck gets a big hit there by LeBrun. Puck back into the Tri-Cities zone. Duval shooting it back to neutral ice. Now shot back in right of the Tri-Cities net. Furlan steering it into Krauss. No power play here as the puck shot the length of the ice. LeBrun fell down trying to get it. Comes out to Deck, and Deck will touch it for icing.
If that pass hadn't have, if Sean LeBrun had kept his feet and caught that pass, there wouldn't have been an icing call on that, and I'm not real sure. I didn't see it, Kirk, but it looked to me like Sean LeBrun, he doesn't fall down too often out there. I'm not sure if he got a little extra help on that or what.
Well, he may have. The face-off will come to the left-hand side of Frank Furlan. We're in a 4-4 tie here at Tri-Cities Coliseum. On the face-off will be Bingham against Barnes. In the Tri-Cities end, Barnes chipping it into the corner. Krauss there for the Americans. Krauss bringing it out now to Duval. Duval playing it off the boards. Goes left to LeBrun. LeBrun can't quite handle the pass. Goes back into neutral ice on the Blazers. Blazers come 2-on-3. Right side Bingham. Right of that for Huber. A big shot. Rebound Furlan. And it goes off into the left side. Shizowski with it. Backhands to Schmidt. Schmidt shot wide of that left. Huber tried to get it back. Couldn't do it. Shizowski back to Huber. Out to the point. One time. A shot taken by Ewell. Blocked by Furlan. Furlan trying to cover it up. Can't. Now shot out into the slot. Duval dumping it back into neutral ice. Back forward is Don Schmidt. Schmidt bouncing it in toward Furlan. Furlan leaving it for Kutowitz. Now plays it around the dashboard to Duval. And we have a scramble right underneath. A shot taken right in front of the net by number 19, Harrison. And now Barnes ties his man up. Harrison goes down. High stick is the call. And I think LeBrun might have put... No, Barnes gets the high stick call, I think.
And we got guys bending over, and Frank Furlan's on the ground, and we've got Murray DeVal on the ground. And Frank is taking an extra period of time to get up, and I'm not real sure. Maybe Frank is feeling a little pain there. He was...
Well, here comes Nope. Yeah, Furlan might have really caught one there.
Well, there was a big pile-up behind the net back there, and Frank was involved in it, trying to get back around, and I believe he was involved with Ryan Harrison as he was going around behind. And I believe this is an extension of this penalty right here, too, to number 16, David Kwiatkowski. And Frank has still been over, and he's looking like he's breathing pretty hard, so he may have taken a shot down underneath there, and all the guys went down there to help him out, and there was a high stick by Kwiatkowski, and he'll sit down for 2 minutes.
Here comes the penalty. 13 minutes the time of the penalty to Kwiatkowski. 7 minutes in the remaining in the period. We're tied at 4. Furlan appears to be okay. And the face-off won by Jaques, or by the Americans. Jaques with it. Power play, Tri-Cities. Only their second of the game. Jaques with it. Up to Kwiatkowski along the boards. Puck knocked loose with Kwiatkowski there. Plays it into the right of the net. Rennie all the way around. Out to the point. LeBrun. LeBrun sweeps it over to Jaques. Jaques a shot. Not blocked by Dean Cook. Into the corner goes Chance. Ices it into the Tri-City zone. Minute 29 to go. In the penalty to David Kwiatkowski. Americans on only their second power play of the night. They bring it up. Jaques to Kwiatkowski, left to Delcourt. Delcourt out on the wing. Back now to LeBrun. Back to Delcourt. Delcourt a shot. Wide of the net. Rebound comes out right to Jaques. Jaques back to LeBrun. LeBrun looks. Evades the sweep check by Huber. Shoots it across the slot to Kwiatkowski. Kiwi can't get to it. Back to Jaques. Jaques with the puck. Back up front now. LeBrun. LeBrun a drive. Blocked inside by Cook, and Delcourt brings it out. 56 seconds remaining in the power play. Back up front now. There's Sean LeBrun. LeBrun right. Jaques. Jaques a shot, and Dean Cook puts this one away.
The Americans are playing some very, very good hockey down here in the Kamloops zone, and we've got Greg Delcourt down there doing a little bit of John with Phil Huber, and the linesman real quick there to break that up.
5:48 to go in the period, and those two players are still yapping at each other. Shift changes for both teams.
You know, the Americans, Kirk, are on a 12-game point scoring or 12-game power play streak going on right now. And that's important because at the beginning of this year, they were not scoring anything. So it's good to see the Americans have finally woken up. And believe it or not, they are leading this team. They are ahead of this team in power play opportunities and percentage-wise. They score 19.5% of the time. Kamloops scores 15.5% of the time.
Well, the Blazers 2 for 6 on power plays. This the Americans' only second power play of the game. Jaques dumping it in left of the Kamloops net. Kwiatkowski upends Huber trying to get to it. Huber gets the puck and ices it into the Tri-City zone. Backboard is Jaques. Jaques stepping around Chance. Here comes Steve Jaques. Jaques with it across the blue line. Drop pass for Nibbs. Nibbs has it slapped away by Huber, and we have a whistle. And puck was slapped out of play, I believe. No, another penalty coming up.
Yes, it is.
A slash against Brian Shand.
And this is very, very good. Now we have an opportunity. The Americans have a 5-on-3 for 23 seconds, and then a 5-on-4 for another minute and, what, 30 seconds? About roughly 27 seconds?
Yeah. Comes at the 14:37 mark. So the Americans will have a power play for a 5-on-3 for 23 seconds, which is a long time. And then a minute and 37 seconds of 5-on-4. Barnes with Nibs and Spenrath are the front line. LeBrun and Jaques at the blue line. Face-off drawn toward the net. Spenrath takes a shot. Now drives Don Schmidt right in on top of goalie Dean Cook. And we've got Huber poking at Barnes. Spenrath poking at Schmidt. Nibs over there to have a quick word with Kim Deck. Spenrath still getting the word from Don Schmidt. Both of them wearing the captain's V. And, well, that'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah, and look at them. They're still talking to each other. And there's a penalty going on.
Now we have a whistle.
The referee LaRue stepped in between them.
They didn't blow the whistle, but he told them both to cool their jets.
That's it.
Face-off comes out to Jaques. Jaques left, LeBrun down the slot, shoots, fanned at it. Score! Nibs! Calvin Nibs!
All right. Jaques takes a shot out of the point, and the rebound comes right up. Calvin Nibs sitting right there. And I mean, wide open net. Completely catches Dean Cook on the other side of the net. And you can't get much more wide open than that, Kirk. It's ahead. The Americans are ahead 5-4 now.
As LeBrun takes the shot top of the slot, rebound Cook out to Calvin Nibs. Just same thing they tell you in basketball, Jason. Follow your shot, right?
Yep.
Just go to the net. Oh, and it comes. Well, it was still 5-on-3, which means that the power play continues. So the Americans 1 for 2 on power plays, and they're now in their third one. Tri-Cities bring it up, goes left to Spenrath, 3-on-3. Spenrath shooting it into the corner. Nibs wheels in after it. Nibs around behind the net. Nibs out to Jaques. Jaques back to Nibs. Nibs on the right wing. Nibs with it. Up to the blue line. Backhands one. Rebound. Cook out front. Nibs the shot. Rebound. No. Cook covered it up. Ooh, they had Dean Cook looking on that shot.
They sure did, and a couple great opportunities there as well. The Americans do a little bit of a funnel. What they do is they circle back around and go straight back in through the slot. They had 3 guys, a short, middle, and long guy at the slot area. And what happens, it went right past the short guy, the middle guy, and Calvin Nibs right there at the long side to give the screens to Dean Cook. Takes the shot, covered up. Nice save by Dean Cook.
Minute 25 remaining in the penalty to Brian Chance, as the goal came on, well, Shizowski was still serving his penalty. The goal wipes that penalty out, but there's still an Americans power play underway. 5-4 Tri-Cities. Puck comes around the net, or around the board, shot back into neutral ice. Backcourt is LeBrun. LeBrun and Barnes, Kwiatkowski, Jaques, and Delcourt. Here comes LeBrun. Across the blue line to Barnes. Puck's loose at the blue line. Still in the Kamloops end. Now the Blazers get to it and ice it. Kim Deck getting wood on it. Back behind the net now goes Jaques. Jaques will play it out to Kwiatkowski as the Americans start the line rush. Here comes Kwiatkowski right up the middle. Splits the defense. Shoots! Just wide of the net. Barnes out to LeBrun. LeBrun a drive, and it's blocked out front. Puck shot back out into neutral ice by Deck. Backcourt is Jaques. Jaques ahead to Delcourt. Delhi feeds left. LeBrun will have to take it off the boards. No, he can't get to it. And back into the Tri-City zone. 30 seconds remaining in the power play. LeBrun wheeling around behind the net now. Here comes Sean LeBrun. Delcourt and Kwiatkowski. LeBrun whipping it in behind the net. Comes out to Delcourt. Delhi plays it off his skate. And in after it is Barnes. Barnes doing magic down behind the net now. Barnes shoots it out to LeBrun. LeBrun starts in on Cook. Goes to Barnes and shot, scores!
Oh, what a beautiful play. I'll tell you what, that was a very well-designed play. Sean LeBrun squeaking right in and taking the puck in on Dean Cook about 50 feet out. And I mean, moving right in. Gets all the defense working on Sean LeBrun. And here comes Stu Barnes over on the left wing and takes a beautiful pass from Sean LeBrun, and a great slap shot beats Dean Cook, and the Americans have widened their lead to 6-4.
And the power play now 2 for 3 on the night. The Americans lead 6-5 over the Kamloops Blazers. 6-4. Yeah, it should be 6-4. The scoreboard is wrong. They'll get it straight in a minute. And Delcourt also getting an assist on that play. Beautiful play. What a gorgeous pass by LeBrun. He set it right out there, and all Barnes he had to do was one-time it into the net.
And he threw in all the defense from Kamloops, and that left Stu Barnes wide open.
And a whistle on the face-off. It'll be, well, it was McNutt against McGowan. And it'll be McNutt against Cal McGowan again. McNutt with Fry and Dirksen. Face-off won by McGowan. Blazers play it across the center ice and back into the Tri-City zone. Back behind the net is Krauss. Krauss shoots the outlet pass to Dirksen. Dirksen has to work to get it away from Cruz. Kamloops with it. Blazers trying to get control down in the corner. Now Cruz taken off by Dirksen. Cruz with it. Behind the net left. Leaves it out to Boyer. Boyer back out along the boards. Back to Cruz. Boyer with it now to Cruz. A shot. Ferland comes up with a save. Right side, McGowan. McGowan in the corner. Krauss puts him on the board. Now McNutt steals the puck. McNutt playing it around his man. Deck there to break it up in center ice. And Ferland leaving it behind the net now for Krauss. Rob Krauss shoots an outlet pass ahead to Devin Dirksen. Neat pass. Dirksen a drive wide of the net. Goes into the right side. Huber there. 2:31 to go. Puck played along the board. Shizowski 1-on-3. Krauss will tie Shizowski up. Leaves the puck there for McNutt. And Nutter almost put that one up here.
And that's the one where we need the net, you know, the little Harry Carey bid.
That's the first one I've seen really get up close enough to get a good look at it. As it went spinning by off the stick of Steve McNutt.
You'd probably go out and get that, wouldn't you, Jason, if it came up this way?
Probably.
6-4 the score. Kirk Williamson along with Jason Heineman and Tony Ott at Tri-Cities Coliseum. Face-off won by the Blazers. Both teams at equal strength. Spenrath knocking it away from Linford, but the Blazers dump it back to the Tri-City zone. Jaques is there. Jaques for the Americans. Headman pass for Delcourt, stolen by Huber. Huber across the blue line, right to Shizowski. David Shizowski, a quick wrist shot. Blocked wide of the net. Maybe Ferland got a little wood on it. Now Delcourt whacks it over the glass.
The little girl down there gets the souvenir, and about 5 rows up in the end section. She's a little happy camper there, you might say.
Faceoff will come in the circle off the stick side or right-hand side of Ferland the Magician. 2 minutes remaining to play in the period. 6-4 the score. Tri-Cities leading the Kamloops Blazers. Faceoff will come at the face-off circle, actually at the top of the face-off circle, about 50 feet away from Frank Ferland. Chance against Barnes. Chance winning the draw. Comes out to Schmidt. Schmidt's shot hits Chance in the back of the head. Puck's loose. Right of the net. Taken away by Duval. Duval sweeping it over to Barnes. Barnes tried to get it to LeBrun. Couldn't. Puck's loose in center ice. Now the Blazers knock it loose. Chance ahead to Sador. Puck stolen right of the net. LeBrun knocks it over to Jaques. Jaques will slap it back to neutral ice. Back for it go the Blazers. Racing after it is Kamloops. They dump it back to neutral ice. But it's knocked down there and in behind the net, and we have it tied up there as Duval, Chance, and number 5, Corey Creighton.
That's a good play by Murray Duval, too. As Creighton was trying to clear the puck, Murray rode the side of the boards there to keep it in play, and it went back behind Creighton's skates, and Murray went in with a great board check right there, and we got a face-off after a frozen puck along the side of the boards.
6-4, Tri-Cities leading the Kamloops Blazers. It'll be Rennie against McGowan on the face-off. In the Kamloops end, off the right-hand side or left-hand side of Dean Cook. You're right. As you look on from center ice, face-off won by the Blazers. And they'll ice it down to the Tri-City zone. Furlan leaving it there for Shane Cole. And we have an Americans player down on the ice, Rob Krauss.
And he's not getting up very fast, is he?
No, and trainer Jim Craig goes out to have a quick word with Rob Krauss. And Krauss staying down on the ice with the score 6-4. Tri-City's leading the Kamloops Blazers. We'll be back in 30 seconds on this Tri-City Radio Americans hockey broadcast. For the Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers, they last couple of goals scored by Tri-City's Nibs from LeBrun and Barnes from LeBrun. Face-off now will be Rennie with Huber. Now Rennie being excused from the face-off circle, and so is Huber. So in will come Bingham and Delcourt to do the job. Puck is down, controlled by the Americans. Rennie shooting it back into neutral ice. Minute 10 to go. Delcourt is down. Oh, he really caught one, and now we have a stoppage in play as Delcourt back behind the play, and a whistle as Spenrath and maybe Kim Deck. No, Shazowski tie up. Delcourt back on his feet now, and again, I moved away from the play. Tony, did you see what happened?
Yeah, what happened was that when they faced off there, Greg was going for the puck, and he got a stick. Well, let's put it this way. When you get in that area, you rub your head, right?
Yeah, and it probably hurt real lot.
Mm-hmm.
And Bingham, the guilty party, comes at 18:53. And the face-off will come in the Kamloops zone.
You know, Kirk, this is the 7th consecutive game that the Americans have scored over 6 goals.
Hard to believe this is the same team that 2 months ago was holding their opponents to 3 goals and losing 3-2. One of the things you find, I think, Tony, is that when you score more, it's because you open the game up a little bit more, which means you give up a little more.
That's very true, and that's exactly what they have done lately.
Americans power play number 4. They're 2 for 3. Barnes against Chance. Barnes, a shot. And Spenrath couldn't get the stick down as he was right in front of the net. Now LeBrun. LeBrun feeds it right to Nibs. Nibs back up front, Jaques. Jaques with it. Evades the sweep check. Goes back now to LeBrun. LeBrun, a drive! Blocked, rebound. Spenrath poked at it, couldn't get it to drop. And here comes Don Schmidt for the Blazers. Puck shot back to neutral ice. Wheeling back forward is Jaques. 42 seconds to go in the period. Jaques back behind his own net. Starts the rush for the Americans. Here comes Jaques. 5-on-4. Neat pass. Cross ice to Barnes. Right to left. Now to Barnes. Across the blue line. Barnes up the right boards. Barnes with it. Tried to center to Spenrath. Couldn't. Had to kick it loose. Comes out to Shant. Now Jaques. Jaques a drive. Just wide of the net to the right side. Minute 10 to go. Back out to the point. LeBrun, left point. Starts in, shoots a pass to Nibs. Nibs' is shot wide of the net. Cook may have gotten to it. Now Barnes with it again. Back to LeBrun. Whoops, they lose it into neutral ice. LeBrun with it for Jaques. Jaques backhands it ahead to the blue line. Nibs slaps it away as time runs out. Now Spenrath and Schmidt trade smacks. Now Jaques steps in front of Schmidt, and I thought maybe Don Schmidt might have bought himself one right there, Tony.
Well, I tell you what, those two had a little bit of a conversation earlier in the period, and it looks like they're carrying it on. Let's watch for those two when we begin the third period.
End of the second period, 6-4 Americans back in 2 minutes on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast. Furlan against Cook, the goalies tonight. Furlan, the magician for the Americans. Dean, the Cookie Monster, Cook for the Kamloops Blazers. And now the players waiting for the goal judge to have a look. Furlan bangs the post. He's ready to go. And Barnes will face off against Brian Shand. Face-off, won by Barnes. But Chance there to poke it loose. Now the Americans have it. Here comes Jaques. Jaques nearly losing it. Gets a pass to Barnes. Barnes whittling through the neutral ice area. Feeds it down to Spenrath. Into the corner it goes. Cook there to play it back along the boards. Barnes chases after it. Comes out to LeBrun at the point. Americans on the power play. Barnes, this is penalty left over from the end of the last period. LeBrun, a drive! Rebound up front. It was deflected off somebody's body. Back to LeBrun at the blue line. LeBrun slides it over to Barnes. He kind of fanned on it. And Barnes losing it back into neutral ice. Goes right now to Jaques. Jaques back to LeBrun. It's very warm in here tonight. Left it goes to Barnes. Barnes across the blue line to Spenrath. Lost in the slot. Nibs there. Nibs to LeBrun. It's kicked away by Shantz. Back to LeBrun. 3 seconds left in the power play. LeBrun feeds a pass ahead to Barnes. Barnes fans on it. Spenrath can't get it, and the Blazers have it. Kim Deck dumping it in, but it's knocked down by LeBrun. Here comes LeBrun to Barnes. 3-on-3, and they catch the Blazers in a shift change as the puck knocked away by Anderson. Back into neutral ice, and Krauss will chase it down for the Tri-City Americans. Puck goes into the corner behind the net. Shot out off the boards, kept in play by the Blazers as Krauss gets a shot in the face by Anderson down along the boards. Barnes will tie it up with Corey Anderson and number 19, Ryan Harrison.
Looks like Corey Anderson and Devin Dirksen down there doing a little bit of flapping. A little flapping gum disease going on.
Well, they're still talking it over.
Yeah, they sure are. And the two to watch, I think, for this next period is what we have out there, Don Schmidt and Greg Spenrath, as they were leading the ice going the second intermission. And I don't see either one of them out right now, but I would be looking forward to that one.
There is not a whole lot of affection lost between those two.
No.
It would be fair to say. 6-4, the Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. McNutt to face off against Cal McGowan. Face-off shot into the corner. A drive just wide of the net. Ooh, Stephen Ewell about sniped that one in. Comes back out to the neutral ice area. Cross ice for the Blazers, and Scherstenka dumping it back into neutral ice. Now it goes into the Tri-City zone. Scherstenka shooting it back once again. Ewell with it for the Blazers. Ewell shoots it in on goal. Ferlin will leave it behind the net. Now plays it out to the right side as Dirksen goes in with Cruz. Now the puck taken off the net. Goes cross ice right. Kwiatkowski. Kwiatkowski and McNutt. Kiwi wipes out. Puck goes into the boards. Kwiatkowski now back to Dirksen. Dirksen sliding it in. McNutt almost got it to go in. McNutt on the deflection. Off the shot by Dirksen. Blazers have it. Here it goes to Paul Cruz. The cruiser wheels down across the blue line, left of the net. A shot all the way around to the point right side. Back into neutral ice it goes. Creighton shooting it back in, and Ferlin there to control it for the Americans to Krauss. Krauss behind his own net. Rob Krauss starts the breakout. Fires a pass cross ice to Delcourt. Delly played it off his skate. Shazowski took it away from him. Shazowski with it. David Shazowski brings it up, shoots it in behind the net. Rebound comes in front of the slot, and Ferlin comes out to bury it. Shazowski, instead of shooting that one in around the boards, shot it straight in off the backboard, and the rebound came right out in front of the slot.
A very difficult angle to come off that board down there on the dump and chase by Shazowski. And those kind of pucks are very difficult for a goalie to handle. They'll bounce right off the back. You go right into the net, and they'll count as a goal, too.
Yep. 17-16. Wouldn't that be a heck of a thing? Goal by Shazowski, assist by Ferlin. 6-4. Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. Didn't happen, folks. It's okay. Rennie with Huber. Face off in the Tri-City zone to the left-hand side of Ferlin. Now Rennie chased out, and in comes Delcourt against Bill Huber. Huber out of Calgary. Delcourt from Kelowna, BC. The Americans have the puck. Spenrath. Headman pass for Rennie. Stolen away by Schmidt. Knocked back to the blue line, and Rennie there for the Americans from Jaques. Back again to Huber. Huber plays it off the boards and loses it. Here comes Rennie. Rennie and Delcourt. Rennie dumping it in. They'll chase it into the Kamloops zone around behind the net. Spenrath hammering Schmidt. Comes back out into neutral ice. Delcourt. Boy, Spenrath had Schmidt lined up on that one. Goes back into the Kamloops zone. Schmidt in front of his own net. Spenrath on him. Puck shot into neutral ice. Here come the Blazers. Shazowski from the right side. Has it checked away by the Americans. Jaques. Huber around behind the net. Wraps around, and Kutowitz there to cut him off. They steer it back toward the net into the slot. Delcourt knocking it away. Delly on a breakaway. Delcourt caught from behind. Has it knocked away by Deck. Deck a drive, and Ferlin covers it up. Bad save by Furlan. I think he thought he was going to put that one up into the crowd.
You know, and another thing, too, is that shows the kind of control that he has with those pads. You know, those pads, they can run anywhere from $700 to $1,000, and they seem to work very well right there for Frank Furlan, who controlled that puck right in front of him. And I think you're right, Kirk. I think he was trying to look up into the audience there and give somebody up there a souvenir.
Next thing, I told you that it was magic. He turns a hockey puck into a souvenir. Face-off is number 22, Chance, shooting it out around behind the net now. Americans with it. They try to get it to Barnes. Can't do it. Taken away by Sador. LeBrun wipes him out. A puck goes back into the corner behind the net. Shane Cole. Woo-hoo, did he hammer Harrison? Ooh, good night.
And there's going to be a penalty.
Krauss will get a penalty. Boarding, I think, will be the call against Shane Cole.
That's right. Let me tell you what, he about took out the entire north section of the hockey rink on that check. Shane Cole, holy cow, what a hit.
4 minutes to go. The difference between a clean check and boarding is if you leave your feet, ignite the afterburners, use a hammer, and I think Shane may have done all of those things with Harrison down there.
Scare the first row.
Well, he certainly had him lined up.
Yeah, the noise, I think, has a lot to do with it, too.
Yep. Face off to the right of Frank Furlan. It'll be Hubert against Kwiatkowski, I believe. No, it'll be Chance with Huber and Shazowski. Kwiatkowski now in to take the face-off with McNutt on the penalty killing. McNutt taking it away. Now Kutowitz in behind the net. Kutowitz plays it off the glass out to the point right. Sador saves it. Shoots it back in behind the Tri-Cities net. Kutowitz there. Huber center scores! Huber to Brian Chance.
And I'll tell you,
we're not going to talk about which Tri-City American was in there who should get an assist.
I'll tell you something. That was a nice pass, though, right out in front to center.
Yeah, it certainly was. Power play goal at 4:12. The period, 12 seconds into the power play. And the Blazers now go 3 for 7 on the power play tonight. Boy, that'll quiet them down. 6-5 the score. The Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers.
And, you know, Kirk, I believe it was David Shazowski that picked up the goal on that. I believe that's his 26th of the season, and we're going to get an official word on that.
We're going to have to wait. Yeah, I thought it was
Kamloops' 5th goal scored by number 16, David Shazowski, with the assist from number 7, Phil Huber, at 4:12.
Well, you get it from Tom Layton.
And you know, that pass from Phil Huber behind the net, oh, what a beautiful pass. And David Shazowski knows how to handle that pass and puts it right into the corner of the net. And it's a 6-5 hockey game.
Kutowitz and Jaques at the blue line for the Americans as Barnes loses the draw. And it's shot into the Tri-City zone. Furlan around behind the net, leaving it for Jaques. Jaques whips it along the boards. Left, a shot, knocked down in the slot by Boyer. And it comes back out on the right boards. Kutowitz kicking it around to Jaques. Jaques trying to steer it out of there, and he can't do it. Now Boyer plays it out to the point to Yule. Yule loses it. Chasing after it is Barnes. Barnes, he has it. Left of the net. Barnes. And it's knocked away as he tried to get it to LeBrun, but LeBrun with it. Wheels back into neutral ice for Kutowitz. Cutter waiting for the Americans to clear the zone. Now shoots it in behind the net. Blazers play it out right now to Stephen Yule. Yule ahead to McGowan. McGowan can't handle a pass and is shot back into the Kamloops zone. Now Don Schmidt wheels back for the Blazers. Passes to Yule. Yule knocks it ahead, and it's knocked away from him. Back to Boyer. Boyer tried to get it over to McGowan. McGowan with it. Blazers having a hard time penetrating the American zone. Now they fire it in behind the Tri-Cities net. And back forward is Steve Jaques. Jaques for Tri-Cities. Outlet pass to Spenrath. Spenner tried to lead Delcourt. Let him a bit much. Delly chases into the corner with it. And I think we're going to get an icing call.
And that was awfully close, too.
No, I don't think it's going to be icing. Let's see. Delcourt and Deck racing in for it.
Well, it looks like the linesman's heading down to the other end.
Well, maybe.
It might be, but that was sure close.
Yep.
It's icing if they pass the puck past the red line in from your own end. And if it's behind the red line, you shoot it towards the other end, past the goal line. and it goes down there and nobody touches it, then that's icing. And I believe, Kirk, that puck was shot either on the red line or just behind it.
Yep, just across, I believe. Now on the face-off, it'll be Rennie facing off against Harrison, and Del Court keeps going in there and talking to Harrison. That'll give him something to think about as Rennie wins the draw. Goes into the corner. Schustenka, they kick it loose. Comes to Krauss. Krauss wheels right in front of his own net. Out to Spenrath. Spenner dumping it into the right corner now. The Americans chase. Rennie into the corner right side. Broken up there by Creighton. Creighton leaves it for Harrison. Kicked back into neutral ice. The Americans with it. Krauss playing it cross ice to Schustenka. Dan Schustenka heading out of Spenrath. Puck's loose as Rennie goes in after it. Falls upside down over Linford, and now it's shot back into the Tri-City zone by number 19, Harrison. Americans back for it. They play it out to Delcourt. Pass was a little hot. Lost in the slot. Shoveled down toward the slot by number 15, Buchanan. He's knocked off the puck to the right side. Blazers playing without a couple of key players tonight. A drive, and they score. By number 15,
Trevor
Buchanan picked up the loose puck right in the slot and just blasted it past Ferland.
And it got him on the glove side way down low. And one of the best shots in all of WHL hockey is a slap shot right out in front and low. And that's exactly what Trevor Buchanan did. And ladies and gentlemen, we are tied.
Yeah.
6-6.
6 goals scored by number 15.
Buchanan getting the goal.
The assist from number 19, Ryan
Harrison getting the assist.
6:20.
6:20 the time of the goal. Blazers with the puck now, as they have come from behind to tie it up. Kamloops with it. Back into the Tri-City zone. Sador left. Schmidt. And the Blazers try to make it happen here as Jaques comes in to break up the play, but Huber's there. Sador firing it in right of the Tri-City's net. Cudowitz in after it. Cutter back for the Americans. Tries to start the breakout. Shoots a pass ahead now to Devin Dirksen. It goes way past Dirksen and will be touched by Schmidt for icing. Schmidt and McNutt trade bangs down there behind the net.
Boy, I wish I could read Coach John Olver's mind right now.
Yeah. Actually, I'm not sure I'd want to.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Now here's a chance for the Americans. There's 13 minutes and 8 seconds left in this hockey game. This is a chance for them. They can still win this game. There's no problem there. But they've got to play disciplined hockey now. They can't go out and make frustration fouls.
On the face-off, it's won by Barnes, but a quick whistle on the face-off, and we'll do it all over again.
You know, Kirk, over the last few games, time and time again, the Americans are making those kind of penalties, those frustration penalties, and this gives the opportunities for the other teams. The time is now for them to play some heads-up hockey, and they can do it. There's a lot of time left. You
know, there's a Blazer player that has played well against the Americans, Ed Bertuzzi. Not on their scratch list, and he's also not on the ice tonight. Back behind the net, in the corner it goes. On the face-off, behind the Americans' net. Now shot into the Kamloops zone. Racing after it is Deck. Deck will touch it, and Barnes hammers into the glass. Out to Cudowitz. Back into neutral ice. Chance chasing Cudowitz down, but it goes right to Jaques. Jaques to Barnes. Barnes sweeping his stick at it, can't get to it. Cook leaves it behind the net now for Schmidt. Barnes centering it. Knocked away for LeBrun. Here come the Blazers. 19-17. Boyer shooting it in left of the net. Blazers in a quick shift change. As Jaques goes after it, puck's kicked loose right in front of the net. Nibbs knocking it loose in the Tri-City zone. Now Nibbs playing it off the glass. Blazers knock it down just outside the Tri-City's blue line. Now shot into the Tri-City zone. Cudowitz with it. Round behind the net. Shoots an outlet pass to Nibbs. Nibbs starts up for the Americans to LeBrun. Little too fast. LeBrun backhands it to Barnes. Barnes can't handle it high, and here comes the Blazers. A shot taken out front by Buchanan. Smothered by Jaques. Puck shot around behind the net. Blazers really taking it to the Tri-City Americans now. Right in the net it goes. Shazowski gets Wood on it. Right side, Harrison, he's knocked down. Puck loose behind the net. Now it comes out to Rick Fry. Fry taking it to the board. Shoots it ahead to Barnes. LeBrun there. He knocks it down. Right side they go, Anderson. Anderson shot. Blocked by Ferland. Right of the net. Furlan comes up big, another one, and Furlan puts this one into the crowd.
And holy cow, did you see the catch that youngster gave right over there? That was quite a catch. But I'll tell you something, you do see the Kamloops Blazers coming out with renewed life, and they are playing hockey. They are taking it to the Tri-City Americans this first half of this third period.
Furlan robbing Harrison point blank.
Well, that's
yeah, it was Harrison.
Yeah.
And the face-off will come off Furlan's left-hand side.
And those are the best ones to block, too, when there's nobody, absolutely nobody around you. And that was just a straight-on slap shot. Real easy for Frank Furlan to handle.
Face-off won by Rennie. Rennie tries to draw it back. Plays broken up by the Blazers. Now Delcourt takes the puck out of there. Gets it to Spenrath. Back to Delcourt. Big hit on Delcourt by Bingham. As Rennie chases in after it along the boards. Puck's kicked loose right in front of the Tri-Cities bench. Now Spenrath chasing after it. Puck shot out cross ice to Spenrath. Spenrath takes a hit on it, but hits Linford instead. Now Furlan comes out, plays it off the glass. Intended for Spenrath. He's checked off the puck. Back forward is Creighton. Creighton wheeling around in his own zone. Plays it back to neutral ice. Duval there to knock it down. Puck knocked across the ice. Knocked down by the Americans. Back into neutral ice. Krauss. Krauss shooting it up to the blue line. It's knocked back out for the Blazers. Scramble for it along the Blazer blue line. Into the right of the net now. Linford in behind his own net. Puck goes into the corner. Delcourt chasing after it. Off the puck comes Bingham. Bingham and Spenrath as they dig for it. Now a whistle as the puck's tied up.
A little bit of a scrum going on down there. You know, Kirk, I noticed something, too, that the puck itself, most all the pucks that they use have the Tri-City American emblem on them, which makes it a white surface, and it makes it very difficult for some of the goaltenders to see. I just noticed that puck is red. Now, I'm not really sure exactly what the story is behind it, but that puck right there has a red surface on it, and maybe they have taken some of the pucks and covered the white on it, but I'm not, or they have taken one of the other pucks off of each team has a different puck emblem on it. Is that correct?
It could be, yeah. Each team has their own, but it could be that the Western Hockey League logo is red also on the other side.
That's very true.
Kwiatkowski against Chance. Now Kwiatkowski chased out, and McNutt will come in to take the draw. Face-off won by Chance. Goes around behind the net to Schmidt. Schmidt with it. Wheeling around away from Dirksen. Feeds the pass out to the right side to Cruz. He is hammered by Kwiatkowski, but the Blazers bring it across the blue line. Left of the net. Pulling up short is Boyer as Jaques and McNutt chase Boyer into the corner, and they'll tie it up there. We're tied at 6. 10:25 to go in the third period. Fans down there reacting like there might be a little fight going on.
Yeah, it looks like it down there. But it's the linesmen are down there to break it up, so it doesn't look like anything's going to get going. You know, Kirk, Kamloops' third period seems to be their biggest period of the year. They've scored the most goals in the third period and have given up the fewest in the third period. So regardless if they're ahead or behind, they seem to really tear it up in the third period, and it shows right now.
Faceoff will come to the right-hand side of Frank Furlan. Your left as you look on from center ice. Boy, Jason, the momentum in this game is really changing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
What do you think? Can the Americans come back?
Yeah, I think they might.
Still got time.
Yeah.
10:25 to go in the period. The third period. We're tied at 6. Barnes on the faceoff with Harrison. Barnes winning it. The Americans bring it out. LeBrun gets it from Kutowicz. Shoots a pass right to Rennie. And the puck slides in behind the net. Dean Cook comes out. Taken away by the Americans. Chipped loose along the boards. Jaques has to go back for it with Harrison. Now here come the Blazers. 2-on-1, and we have a whistle. Offsides against the Kamloops Blazers.
Co-captain Steve Jaques over there, taking it to number 19, Ryan Harrison, and putting him in between the benches over there. There's an area where the TV cameras can be set over there, and he just pasted him up against the glass over there. And I watched one of the reactions of one of the girls over there, and I think she was a little scared about it. She thought he might have been coming through that glass.
Lined up right in her lap. Face-off won by the Americans. McNutt winning the face-off. Goes to Kwiatkowski. Ahead to McNutt. Here comes McNutt from the left side. A shot. Cook blocks it into the corner. Huber slaps it away. Around behind the net goes Sudor. Daryl Sudor. It's blocked by Spenrath. Spenrath wraps around behind the net. Tries to wrap it around. Puck's loose in the slot. Delcourt can't get to it. Back to Kutowitz at the blue line. Kutowitz and Jaques. Jaques controlling it. Shoots the pass, cross ice. Left to right. Now Kutowitz dumping it into the Kamloops zone. It was on goal. And Cook dumping it away to Sidor. Plays it around to Shazowski. Shazowski, neat deflection to Huber. Huber one-on-one up the left side. Huber shoots, and Ferland makes the glove save.
And I'll tell you right now, you got to get a little credit for Greg Delcourt right there, taking Pat Bingham out of the play. If there was any type of deflection off of Frank Ferland off that shot, the whole idea was for Pat Bingham to be right there to grab that rebound and put it in. But Greg Delcourt doing his great job that he usually does every single game, took him right into the glass and took him right out of the play, and Frank held on. We're going to have a face-off to Frank Ferland's right-hand side.
And a bit to your left as you look on from center ice. 9:20 to go. We are tied at 6. I never really thought I'd say that. Tied at 6 or 8 or whatever. But I'll tell you what, there were weeks when they didn't score 6 goals.
Well, they averaged the first 25 games, they only averaged 2 goals a game.
Interesting that their opponents only averaged 3 or 3.5. Barnes against Huber. Face off one and slides right toward the Tri-Cities net. Ferland has to go around behind the net. Ferland kicking it loose. Ooh, he got caught bad back behind the net.
And
now Barnes gets slashed right in the chop as Krauss takes it down. Krauss in on Cook. Is he going to get a shot? No. Puck's loose in the corner, and Krauss gets upended. And now we're going to have 2 penalties against the Blazers, I think. And Krauss took a shot from Linford. Fred.
I tell you what, Bill Huber right there ought to be pretty lucky if he doesn't get himself a penalty, because he went right in and just completely, well, basically clipped.
Yeah.
Rob Krauss down there. And we got a high sticking penalty going against Pat Bingham. We'll sit down for a couple minutes. This is great because it gives the Americans another power play opportunity. And if there ever was a time to get on the board and take the lead, it's right now.
Yeah. Well, and Frank Ferland coming over to have a quick word with goalie coach Jim Craig. It comes at 10:59 of the period. Face-off right of the Kamloops net. Puck shot back out to the blue line. LeBrun with it from Jaques. LeBrun back to Jaques, top of the slot. Jaques a shot! Blocked out front, rebound. Comes out to the Blazers. LeBrun there to steer it away. Here comes LeBrun. LeBrun a shot! And it's tied up inside.
That was quite a shot there, too, by LeBrun. And now, you know, the Americans, when they're doing their plays in here, remember, down here in this end, and let's watch for it, too, Kurt, the way that they set this Stu Barnes or Greg Spenrath, and let's see if they do the same play that they like to do quite a bit. And that's where Stu wins that face-off. You know, it looks like Spenrath's going to be on this side now. Got Calvin Nibbs. Well, there's another nice stick there, too. He can take that puck and shoot it right in, too. Watch Stu Barnes.
Barnes on the face-off. To his right, in the slot, Calvin Nibbs. Now Huber being chased out and screaming at the line.
Holy cow.
Huber goes over to have a word with the referee, and the referee kind of flashes him away. In comes Harrison. Barnes wins the draw, goes back to Jaques at the blue line. Spenrath being tied up right in the slot. Barnes with it out on the wing now to LeBrun, back to Barnes. Barnes right of the net, up to Jaques. Jaques the slot, feeds it right, intended for Nibbs. Calvin couldn't get to it. They'll wheel in after it now. Barnes chasing it. Puck shot in the air, knocked down by Harrison. Right off the top of the glass, and Jaques will have to go back to get it. In neutral ice. Blazers dodged the bullet there. Here comes Nibbs. Feeds it right for Barnes. Huber smothered it, but Barnes gets it in the slot. Now right to Jaques. Jaques in the right corner, around to Barnes. Barnes on the wing. Left of the net, up to LeBrun at the blue line. LeBrun in the slot, feeds the pass over to Barnes, broken up by Harrison. Harrison brings it down, but it's 1-on-3. Harrison fanning at it as LeBrun came over and intimidated him. LeBrun ahead to Barnes. Now Barnes feeds the pass right to Delcourt. Delly goes to the corner. Delcourt right of the net in the corner. Goes around behind the net to Barnes. Barnes back up front now to LeBrun. LeBrun, Jaques, top of the slot. Back to LeBrun. LeBrun feeds it down to Barnes, stolen away again by Anderson. They're taking away the passing lane from LeBrun. And the Blazers are making LeBrun misfires. He tries to get it over to Barnes. Now the puck stolen away by Jaques. Jaques to LeBrun. Neat pass ahead to Barnes. Barnes flips the defense. Barnes from the right side. Barnes wheels back to the point now. Barnes around Jaques to LeBrun. Back to Jaques. Jaques a shot. Rebound. Cook. Barnes. Barnes sliding in from the left side. Jaques and Spinrath, I believe.
Yeah, when Jaques took the shot out of the point.
Or no, it isn't Spinrath. He's not on the ice. It'll be Kwiatkowski, I think.
Oh, I'll tell you what. A great slap shot by Jaques out at the point. And the scoreboard says goal, goal, goal.
4 seconds remaining in the penalty.
Oh, and that's a big power play goal right there.
12:55 of the period. And it gives the Americans a 7-6 lead.
Jaques took that shot, and Cook looked like he had a little control of it. Just squirted out toward his stick side, and right there to pick up the rebound is Stu Barnes. And Stu pops it in to take the lead for the Americans, 7-6.
Well, Jason, looks like the Americans have taken the momentum back. Face-off won by the Americans in the corner left. Duval tries to dump it down to Rennie. Comes out to Linford at neutral ice. Now McNutt knocking it away. McNutt behind the back pass stolen by Huber. Huber's shot, and Ferland will put it away. No, put into the glass. Krauss knocking it down. Right of the net. Here come the Americans. They stir it ahead to Dirksen. 3-on-2. Dirksen up the right side. Dirksen passes to McNutt, and he's tied up by Shazowski. Dirksen, or back to McNutt, back to Dirksen. Into the corner it goes, and here comes Buchanan for the Blazers. Buchanan's pass stopped by the Americans. McGowan losing it to McNutt. McNutt dumping it into the zone. Dirksen will race in after it, along with Sador. Sador mishandles the puck, and Dirksen almost catches up with him. Now Sador feeds the pass right side, stolen by Kutowicz. Almost, it is knocked away at the blue line by the Blazers. They chase it into the left corner. Buchanan. Buchanan to Harrison. Now Buchanan tied up in the corner. Knocked down by Jaques. Buchanan stays on his feet, and the puck will be tied up there.
Well, I tell you what, the action is really fast and furious. And one thing about hockey here, Jason, that you can see, it goes from one end to the other very quickly, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
And the momentums change very rapidly, too, don't they?
Yeah.
7-6, the Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers. 5:54 to play in the hockey game.
Do you have a favorite player out there, Jason?
We live right next door to Murray Duvall. He's pretty good.
Oh, is that right? So
yeah.
have you had a chance to talk with Murray at all?
Yeah, a little bit.
He was pretty excited when he got that game winner the other night in Kamloops.
Yeah.
Face-off to the right-hand side of Frank Ferland. Face-off won by the Blazers. A shot wide of the net. Goes in left from Len Jorgensen. Another shot knocked away by the Americans. Smothered by Duval up front. Right he goes to LeBrun. LeBrun across the blue line. Fires it in left of the net. It comes out to Barnes. Barnes into the corner to Spenrath. Spenrath tried to center it. Hit the edge of the net to Duval. Duval fires it. It's deflected out front off the glass. Spenrath around for Barnes underneath. Knocked away. And Ewell feeds it back to a teammate back into neutral ice. Here comes Cruz racing back for it, but Krauss will get it. Krauss in behind the Tri-Cities net, leaves it behind for Duval. Duval, outlet pass to Spenrath. Spenrath has to play it off a Kamloops player. It comes out now to LeBrun. LeBrun goes right to Krauss. Krauss ahead to Duval. Duval stepping around Cruz. Across the blue line is Duval. His shot blocked, but Barnes gets it right back. Spenrath will drive. Smothered up front. Fenner dumping it into the corner. Racing it after it is number 3, Stephen Ewell. Ewell shooting it back into neutral ice. Actually, it's on goal. Ferland will play it out to the right side for Jaques. Jaques sweeps it ahead along the boards left. Racing it after is Linford. Americans in a shift change. Nibbs, Kwiatkowski, Rennie for the Americans. Nibbs steps into the play. Stealing the puck. Goes across in front of the Kamloops goal. Back out front along the boards now, and Jaques there to slap it back in. Dean Cook touching it for Kamloops, leaving it for Schmidt. Schmidt with it across out toward the blue line, has to wheel away from Nibbs. Schmidt fires the pass ahead for Huber. Huber deflects it, trying to get it to Shazowski. Puck's loose in center ice, and Rennie there for the Americans. To Nibbs, to Kutowicz left now. Cutter dumping it into the corner. Rennie will chase. In behind the net is Rennie all over Don Schmidt. Nibs upending Anderson as they go for the puck, taken out of there by Harrison. Ryan Harrison wheeling through his own zone, shooting a pass cross ice, and it'll rebound in front of the Tri-Cities net. Furlan comes out, plays it to neutral ice. A shot by Harrison, smothered up front by Nibs. Puck goes right of the net. Furlan tried to bang it loose, couldn't do it. In behind the net goes Buchanan, tried to wrap around. Reverses himself, and he's taken out of the play by Nibs. Puck banged loose. Nibs and Kutowicz. Now it goes back underneath to Harrison. He tries to wrap around, has it knocked away. Now the Americans will slap it down the length of the ice. It will not be icing as it was touched by a Blazer. Yule goes back for it for Kamloops and the Americans on a shift change. 3:11, 3:10 to go. Here come the Blazers on the attack. Right side, Boyer. Boyer knocked off the play by Duval. Puck still alive in the Tri-City zone. Now Spenrath. Headman pass to Delcourt. Delcourt drives it in, and it's off of a Kamloops player into the corner. McNutt chases after it. They play it around the boards, do the Blazers. Hit by Delcourt as it comes out to Cruz. Just across into neutral ice. Behind the back pass by Shantz. Here comes Schmidt stepping through. Tried to shoot it in, couldn't. Krauss knocking it loose at the Blazer blue line. Or at the Tri-Cities blue line. Now here comes Krauss. 2-on-2 with McNutt. Krauss beating his man. Hacks it at Cruz. And McNutt takes it in. Centers for Spenrath. Spenrath shot. Blocked away. Jaques tried to hit it in. Out to Delcourt. Delcourt's drive. Knocked down. Right in the slot by Sador. And Sador will put it up in the crowd. Now Spenrath and Sador exchange little taps with the lumber down there.
Well, I tell you what, the Americans right now are playing some great hockey. You know, this is what the excitement part about this game is that the first 15 minutes or first 14 minutes of this game haven't been anything the Americans have wanted to talk about. Now the last 3 minutes have been nothing but Americans, and let me tell you what, they are playing hockey now.
I'll tell you what, there are times when I think that I just give Spenrath a 2x4 and let him go out there. As much as he uses that stick to tap gently on people.
Yeah. Gently.
Barnes on the face-off with Huber. Huber wins it, but the Americans steal it right back. Barnes chasing in behind the net, steps over Dean Cook. Barnes with it, back out to Jaques now. Jaques a shot, smothered up front, goes into the corner left. Barnes racing in with Schmidt. Schmidt gets the puck. Barnes trying to check it away. Schmidt, headman pass, goes to Shazowski. A breakaway. Shazowski shoots, scores! David Shazowski. And we're tied. David Shazowski, quick stick work for the Kamloops Blazers.
And boy, the Blazers are back, and I'm telling you, 7-7, and you look at the bench over there for Kamloops, they are jumping up and down, screaming and yelling. They have tied the Americans with 1 minute and 54 seconds left in this hockey game in regulation. Oh, yeah, I knew you'd like to hear that, Kurt. Oh, it's 7-7. Oh, boy, what a game.
Shazowski on the clean breakaway. My, oh, my.
And that's Shazowski's second goal of the third period.
Face off at center ice. It'll be Rennie against Shantz. Rennie wins the draw, draws it back to Jaques. Jaques with it, dumping it into the Kamloops zone. Racing in after it is Kwiatkowski. Being tied up there by Cruz. Goes into the corner. Kwiatkowski in after it. Kwiatkowski tries to get it around to Rennie. Rennie with it underneath. Leaving it along the boards for Kwiatkowski. Big hit there. Rennie in the score.
Jaques! Jaques! Steve Jaques!
Oh, what a great pass!
The Moondog to Steve Jaques. Call that the Surrey BC connection.
You know it, too. And you know what? Steve Rennie pops that pass right out in front of the crease. Steve Jaques came in like a bullet. And I mean, he ripped that puck past Dean Cook into the net. And the Americans, in less than 20 seconds, have taken the lead, regained the lead, 8-7 over Kamloops.
Minute 32 remaining in the period, or in regulation play. The Americans' 8th goal, scored by Jaques, with the assist from Rennie. One of the Bruce brothers, Rennie. And Kwiatkowski also getting an assist.
You know, Steve Jaques has been on a tear of late. That's his 7th consecutive game. He's scored at least 1 point in.
That's the sign of character, is the team comes back and scores just 22 seconds after the Blazers score on a clean breakaway.
And that's exactly what this team needs, too, to pump them up and to get them all excited again. They've got 1 minute and 32 seconds to play defensive hockey. And Coach John Olver has called a short timeout over there to tell his team, look, play solid hockey. Check good. Don't make a stupid penalty. Do not get yourself in trouble, and keep that puck away from Frank Ferland. Do the best you can with what you got.
Now here comes the wave in the Coliseum. I'm still waiting for him to try the spiral wave. Maybe that'll happen later. But they got a wave going now, and it's a good one here at the Coliseum.
What do you think, Jason?
Very good.
What do you think, Jason? Are we ever going to get a spiral wave?
Maybe.
That's where you start with row 1, it goes around, and then row 2 gets up. Face-off won by Rennie of the Americans to Jaques, back to Krauss. Krauss shooting it across the ice. Stolen there by Buchanan. He's knocked off of it by Rennie. Buchanan getting it back, dumping it into the Tri-City zone. But Krauss is there for the Americans. Back behind the net. Ooh, Krauss waited a little too long. Puck tied up right of the net. Now it comes out to Kwiatkowski, stolen by Huber. As they dig for it along the boards. Rennie left of the net. Now Jaques has it. Jaques puts it into the crowd. Probably the best place for it. And we have a whistle. Are we going to have a penalty? No. Referee signaling where the face-off should be. 8-7 the score. The Americans leading the Kamloops Blazers.
And it looks like the Americans have called another timeout here, and they're probably doing a little bit of strategy. There's 1:04 left in the hockey game here. Frank Ferland has decided not to go to the bench to get any advice. He knows what he has to do. He's going to stay back at his net there, and the music's not on, and that's probably disturbing Frank a little bit.
Yeah, he likes that. The singing goalie. I keep telling him I want to put a microphone on him. But so far it hasn't happened. 1:04 to play in the hockey game. And Jason Heineman, what an exciting hockey game tonight.
Yeah, it sure is. It's been close.
That has the league's changed hands a bunch of times. The Americans really need to establish some control over this Kamloops team. The Blazers can find ways to hurt you. 1:04 to go in the third period. No action tomorrow night. Barry Manilow's here at the Coliseum. And then on Sunday night, the Moose Jaw Warriors. There is a bus, incidentally, going to Spokane on Wednesday night. Round-trip bus fare and your ticket, $25. Call 783-8448. 783-8448 for additional ticket information and to make your reservation. Face-off will come to the right-hand side of Ferland the Magician. It will be Rennie facing off against Shantz. Puck's down. Blazers have it. Out front, a shot. Szydowski and Ferland puts it away. Comes off the glass, and it comes out to Spinrath. 55 seconds. Kwiatkowski, right side. Blazers have pulled their goalie. The Americans with an empty net chance. Rennie in behind the net. Rennie for the Americans in the Kamloops zone. Out to Kwiatkowski. Playing defense is Schmidt. Schmidt knocking it away. Playing goalie there as Rennie goes in after it. Schmidt kicks it loose. Back into neutral ice. Chase down. Here comes Szydowski. Szydowski. And the Americans steal it away. Jaques against the empty net. Here comes Spinrath. Can he get the empty netter? He does! Spinrath on the empty net. Greg Spinrath. A gamble taken by the Kamloops coach, Ken Hitchcock, and Spinner gets the empty netter.
A great shot from Greg Spinrath. An empty net goal gives the Americans a 9-7 lead with 22 seconds remaining in this hockey game. And Kirk, I feel pretty confident about this one.
Yeah, I'd say so now. I didn't until about a second ago. 9-7 the score.
Oh, boy, I'll tell you
Well,
what.
Dean Cook's back in goal now for the Blazers. Fenrath, there may be an assist, but I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. Takes off. Won by the Americans. Blazers shoot it into the Tri-City zone, and Furlan kicks it into the corner. Jaques getting the assist. Now the puck back into the Kamloops zone. Time runs out. And that's the end of the hockey game.
That's great.
Well, Jason Heineman, a great hockey game. Thanks for having joined us tonight and being our guest color commentator.
Thanks for letting me come.
9-7 the score. That wraps up our game broadcast tonight. Stay tuned for the Penalty Box Show and the post game from Tri-Cities Coliseum. This is the Tri-Cities Radio American Hockey Broadcast. I'm Kirk Williamson along with Tri-City Americans coach John Olver. John, you continue to dominate the Kamloops Blazers, at least the last 4 games, but another real scramble here at home.
Well, the last previous tonight, 4 games in a row in overtime, and tonight looked like another one destined to go in overtime. I think we must enjoy playing overtime or something, because every game we're leading late in the hockey game, and we seem to give up that goal, and it isn't a case of us not talking about it or trying hard enough to defend it. We've just lost confidence to hold the lead, and it's something we're going to have to continue to work on and continue to execute our defensive coverage better and make sure we're not getting caught, because we can't continue to keep giving up leads like this. We're gonna continue to lose more games.
Well, I think the problem is that too many folks mistake you for a player, and they're trying to get some more gray on your hair there to you know, give you that distinctive look.
I'll tell you, I went through I don't know how many Tums tonight. My stomach has been just on end here the last week. I mean, I'm still running through those last 2 Portland games where we had 3-goal leads in the 3rd period. In the last game we played Portland, we have a 1-goal lead with a minute to go in the game, and we're on the power play. They're a man short. They score shorthanded. It just seems no matter what the circumstances, they tie it up. I'm trying now. I think I might leave the bench the last 2 minutes, because obviously what I'm doing isn't working.
The crowd, again, another sellout here in Tri-Cities Coliseum, certainly can be a factor in the game, but it can also be break that concentration sometimes by being as boisterous as they are.
I think maybe that's a little. We can't blame the fans, and I couldn't be more happy that they're behind us and supportive. And it is difficult, I must add, that when we called that timeout to try to talk what we want to do now that we got the lead back in a minute and a half to go and what we wanted to do, it's almost impossible to talk to the players. It's so loud, but we appreciate it, and that might have something to do with the fact that we try to do things we shouldn't and should try to slow the play down a little bit at that point and just play very conservative.
John, the Moose Jaw Warriors come to town on Sunday. They're a team the Americans handled fairly easily at Moose Jaw on the long road trip. In fact, it's the first win of that road trip.
Yes, we did have an easy time of it. They are one team that we really dominated, but they're a funny team. Some nights they've been able to play very well, and other nights they haven't. They lost us 6-2 and turned around, and when Victoria was out there, beat them 11-0, and they came out here to Spokane the first game on Wednesday night, beat them 8-4. So they're a team that can certainly play well. They're inconsistent, but when they're on, they're tough to beat, and they're a team that we cannot take lightly. Obviously, we can't take any team lightly. We've got to play our best every night to win, and we're going to be preparing very hard for Moose Jaw, because it is definitely a must-win for us.
Now, Moose Jaw was the team in position to claim the Czechoslovakian player who defected after the tournament last week in Canada. What is the current status of that player?
Well, he's as far as the league is concerned, the Western Hockey League, they've awarded him to Moose Jaw in the event he does clear immigration, but I understand that it's a real problem. They've toughened the immigration laws in Canada, and the last time I heard, the Czechs did not want to release his playing rights, and I understand his parents were flying over to try to convince him to come back. So that situation's really up in the air, and it's one that, regardless, he's not our property, so it's not one that I'm all that interested in, really.
You're not likely to find him playing anytime real soon, then?
No, I'd be, you know, if he was able to play at the very quickest, it would be next year.
John Olver, head coach of the Tri-City Americans, congratulations on a good victory tonight over the Kamloops Blazers, 9-7, and looking forward to that game against Moose Jaw on Sunday night.
We sure are, and we'll, I hope we have a blowout there, but if the last week is any indication, we'll be in for another close game and possibly overtime.
John Olver, thanks very much, and we'll be back to talk with some of tonight's players in 1 minute on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast. With Darren Kwiatkowski, one of the stars of this game. Darren getting a goal and an assist tonight, and this was kind of a rough scramble sort of game against Kamloops, Darren.
It wasn't a pretty game, but got to be happy with the win, and we played some close games, and it was nice to come up on top.
The Blazers certainly play scrappy and very physical. I thought for sure that we were going to go back into another overtime for 5 in a row. I'm sure nobody wanted that to happen.
Yeah, 4 in a row is quite a few, and takes a lot out of the guys. And when they score with about a minute left, everyone's shaking their head again and saying, "Oh no, here we go again." But luckily, we got some hard work, and we scored a goal right before the end.
You had an assist on that goal, Jaques and Rennie ultimately getting the goal. Tell us a little bit about that goal.
I think the puck was just in the corner. It was kind of a scramble. There was 2 of their guys and 2 of us, and me and Rennie were kind of digging it out in the corners, and the puck bounced loose, and Rennie fed it to Jaques out in front, and Jaques didn't make any mistakes.
He was right on top of Dean Cook. Is the Cookie Monster difficult for you guys to play? Does he give you some special problems?
He's not bad. There's a lot of good goalies in the league, and it's hard to pick out one. I think he's up there, and he's as good as anyone else in the league.
Darren Kwiatkowski looking forward to the Moose Jaw game on Sunday night. The Warriors have been a little bit inconsistent, but they came out and buried Victoria. They beat Spokane. They can play.
Yeah, they're kind of a up-and-down team, and they're got no place to go but up right now, and they got 2 big victories out here, and it's going to be a tough game.
Sunday night at 6 o'clock here in Tri-Cities Coliseum. Darren Kwiatkowski, congratulations on a great game. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
9-7, our final score. We'll be back to talk with Americans captain Steve Jaques in 1 minute on this Tri-City American with Steve Jaques in our post-game show. And Steve, another scramble with the Kamloops Blazers, but a good game at the end.
Yeah, it turned out good for us, that's for sure. So you never know who's going to win a shootout like that, though.
What is this with shootouts? I mean, the season starts October, November. It takes a week to score 9 goals. All of a sudden, it's 9-8, 6-5, 6-6, 7-3. What's going on here?
Well, with our offense, it's a matter of, you know, we've been getting to practice a lot more, and guys are getting more confidence, and lines are starting to click and stuff like that, but there's no way we should be letting in 7 goals a game, that's for sure.
What, any theory on what the cause of that is? I know Frank Furlan's played a lot of games in a row, and it's got to be, he's getting a little bit tired, probably mentally more than physically.
Yeah, well, he's not playing as well as he can play, and he has in the past, but you can't blame it all on him. I mean, I don't know, we're having some mental lapses in our own zone, and we got to go something we got to go over and practice.
Is that something that as you start to think about it, it'll go away eventually? Just paying more attention to it.
Yeah, you got to pay. Like for myself, my plus minus has gone for a dive lately. I don't really know why. My offense is going great. You know, 3 times as good as it was in the beginning of the season. Now I'm starting to play terrible on my own end, and I don't know why. It's not because I'm consciously thinking more offense. It's just you know, it's a hard thing to explain. That's why coaches go crazy.
In a long season like this, 72 games, you do go through periods of time when maybe your offense is going real well, or you're playing real well defensively and not seeing the puck in the offensive end. There's time for those things to change around in there. As you get ready for the playoffs, Steve, they starting to look at the rest of this division. The Americans are going to have to do some work now to get into that 4th place spot.
Yeah, well, we know what we got to do. We got to win all our home games and try and steal, you know, at least half on the road, and we'll be in the playoffs. And I'm sure when we get in the playoffs, we're a good playoff team. We're a big physical club, and over a 9-game series, we got the team that can win it.
The physical aspect of the game tonight, a very rough game against Kamloops, had a rough game against Portland the other night. Is the play typically a little more physical in the second half of the season? They let a little more go by?
Yeah, most definitely. Early in the season, the refs, they want to call everything, get everybody scared, so they don't want to take penalties. But, you know, the refs are starting to realize the importance of the games, and they can't just call it will. Not that they don't want to, but they're subconsciously they're not going to call it. And teams are sure trying a lot harder, and everybody's playing more physical when they're going for the playoffs.
The Americans blue liners getting into the offensive action a little bit more, partly by design and I'm sure, and partly just things are beginning to work better.
Yeah.
Is that the way you'd read it?
Yeah. Well, everything's going good offensively for us. I don't really know why. I said to myself at Christmas time, I'm just going to play like I did last year, because before Christmas I wasn't getting any points, and I didn't really know why. I was trying to play really conservative, but after Christmas I just decided that maybe I'll just go for it a little bit and see what happens, and things have been turning out
good.
Well,
things have been happening.
Yeah.
Shots that, and it hasn't just been with you, it's been almost everybody. Shots that before Christmas would hit the pipe or miss or cause the goalie to come up with a world-class save, are now finding their way into the net.
That's right.
Steve Jaques, captain of the Tri-City Americans, good to have you with us, and congratulations on a great game. Look forward to seeing you back on the ice on Sunday night.
Great. Thanks a lot, Kurt.
9-7, the final score here. The Tri-City Americans beating the Kamloops Blazers. That wraps it up on our post-game show. I'm Kirk Williamson on this Tri-Cities Radio Americans hockey broadcast.